and everyone in between. Help create a cleaner future for both people and nature. Visit wwf.earth/plastics.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
The second half of this weekend brings periods of sun and clouds with a developing breeze and a high of 53. Tonight looks clear as that breeze then winds down with a low of 31. Then sunshine gives way to more clouds tomorrow and a high of 51, ahead of a less cool day for Tuesday with rain and drizzle at times, high 57. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, back to it on Monday. Big football weekend, which we'll talk about on Monday, and so much more. And it's a holiday week. Let's go, short week. Colin Dunlap back Monday, 2 to 6 right here, KDK.
So I'm going to be in for Colin on Friday, and I got to believe you're going to be hanging around a little bit on Thanksgiving week. Rob Taylor, you're going to be here at all Thursday, Friday?
I'll be here, of course, Thursday afternoon doing the news and watching some NFL football, and be back Friday morning, too.
All right, cool. So I'm going to be spending the holiday with our listeners. Always love doing that. Now, it's always a holiday for you, but you got one more hurdle to get over, and we'll get to that in a minute. But, man, they steamrolled Rutgers yesterday, huh?
Well, it was 14-3 at the half. But
what was the final score?
Yes, took over, dominated.
Yeah, I know. But and speaking of getting trashed or throttled, how about Syracuse? How far has that program fallen?
What was it, 70 to 7?
70 to 9.
70 to, two extra points.
But the big ticket, here's the other thing. Just make Terry Smith the head coach at Penn State. He defeats the guy that was being considered, then he got a gazillion from the Cornhuskers, Matt Rule. So he gets the win against Nebraska yesterday. I know a lot of these recruits are going to probably go with Franklin to Virginia Tech, but the guy who really was the driving force to recruit all of them, former Gateway coach, was born in Aliquippa, none other than Terry Smith. He just exemplifies Penn State. Why not give him a shot, man? Come on.
Did you see the end of that game?
Yeah.
I mean, they had players had like a little sign that said, hire Terry Smith, and it was. I mean, they almost wanted to carry him off the field.
It's the right thing to do, and he deserves it. He's paid his dues, because here's what's going to happen. If you don't hire him, what's going to happen if the new coach in waiting, whoever it could be, decides to bring in his own people, Terry Smith's going to get a job maybe in either West Virginia or Pitt as a top recruiter, and he's going to pick your pocket. I'm telling you. See, everybody gave Franklin all this credit, but it was really Terry Smith who got a lot of the athletes from Western Pennsylvania and kept going. Who was born in Aliquippa? Who knows Aliquippa? He does. And he is a brilliant mind. And I love, a little tribute with that 409 pin talking about Joe Paterno and the throwback and what it was and what it means to him. I mean, this is an incredible story. And if there was ever an opportunity to really kind of not reverse all of the bad, because there was a lot of it, but maybe kind of get back to some of the glory days of what it was when he was there, meaning Joe Pa, before all that trash came out with Sandusky, maybe Terry Smith will have a chance to kind of right the ship a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of want to see him, be named that coach at Penn State. I mean, he's had, two real good victories in just a few weeks, and it seems like the players are behind him. And as you said, if he's a top recruiter, then if maybe you've got your guy there already.
How about Lovelace, and how about Turner, and how about Heinzel, and how about the Pitt Panthers, and how about that big win against Georgia Tech, who wasn't the rambling wreck yesterday? Now you have to find name, image, and likeness to keep Mason at the quarterback position next year. But man, could have been, should have been, if they'd have won some of them earlier games this year. You know what? The Panthers looked really good. And Miami, Virginia Tech yesterday, James Franklin was actually in attendance, kept it close until halftime, and then they eventually would lose to Miami. If they beat Miami, some things happen, like an SMU loss or whatever. Who knows? Maybe the Panthers have a shot to play another day.
Well, thank goodness Pitt pulled that game out, because I had my hands up in the air when Coach Narduzzi went for that fake punt at the end of the game.
Well, let me tell you something. Coach Narduzzi, he may not want to admit this, but that might have been him playing for his job yesterday. Honestly, that's how big.
I believed it. Yeah.
That's how big that. Alan Green, look, Alan Green's got the wheels churning right now, and he wants to put this program back to national prominence. But man, they've got some players on that football team. I mean, some really skilled, especially at running back.
Yeah, I mean, Pitt. as we talked about last week, I was talking about, iron sharpening iron. And even though Notre Dame, is in a different class on the football field than Pitt, I thought, that loss to Notre Dame may have actually done some good for Pitt down the line and show them where they are and where they need to be. And they came out in that first half and that first quarter and a couple minutes of that first second quarter really coming out showing what they were made of. So, I think, you hate to have a loss, but if you're going to lose to someone, lose to a big power like Notre Dame and then come back and show everybody what you've learned from it.
So how about the high school games yesterday? Clairton, 8-6, a winner to win that Class A title. Man, they're just all about tradition there, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. It's almost like what is a Whitfield championship game without Clairton in it?
I know. And then AA, Seton LaSalle, Steel Valley gave them a run, but they were victorious. Will Murray scored 3 times. He happens to be headed to Duquesne to play his football. Jerry Schmidt, by the way, for the final time today on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show, Central Connecticut State did not lose to Mercyhurst, so they end up at 6-5. They're not going to the postseason, but they did beat their arch nemesis, Robert Morrison. I was actually in Moon Township, headed home yesterday, and I just kind of was at a red light, and I rolled the windows down just to hear that PA announcer and get some of those vibes from Joe Walton Stadium. So Jerry Schmidt will be here today. AAA, Avonworth has quietly, Coach John Carr has built a powerhouse there, back-to-back Whitfield championships. They beat Amani Christian. But how about TJ Plack, Coach LaDon, Pine Richland? They're down 19-0 Peters Township at half, and they come back to defeat them. And Reston, by the way, is headed to the University of Pittsburgh, a really talented player for Coach Plack at Peters Township. They have become a quiet juggernaut, too, in recent years. So really good football yesterday.
And, of course, I love the city of Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh was just buzzing. I went downtown, of course, checking out some light up night festivities, and then the north side, the North Shore with all the Whitfield games. So Pittsburgh was doing its thing last night.
They were, and by the way, Tyler Boyd, the Clairton great standout, back in the community that we call home. He calls home at that game yesterday. Donnie Football had a chance to catch up with him. Had a chance to catch that. Ben Tenuta doing such a great job as well. All the highlights and things yesterday throughout the evening. I just absolutely love what they do with high school sports. Now, so Aaron Rodgers has had his way, like 12-5 against the Bears. And when he was at Green Bay, always was playing the Chicago Bears. The Steelers, by the way, have only won once there in forever. So the Bears have not really been very of a friendly opponent whenever we're at Soldiers Field. But today, I really think on just because of what lies ahead, Buffalo, and then, of course, Baltimore, if you can play Mason Rudolph today, play Mason Rudolph, and if he doesn't fare well, maybe let Aaron come in, or if Aaron can't, give Will Howard a shot. But I just don't want to risk Aaron Rodgers, even though he's probably chomping at the bit, wants to take on the Bears because he's had their number. I just don't think it would be such a good idea.
One thing I know for sure is this is going to be, I think, a great game. I mean, the Bears fans are going to be going crazy. You got the Steelers in town. Bears are 7-3. They've got this second-year quarterback who runs like he's on fire. So Steelers got to contain him defensively, and then hopefully we can pull this one out.
Yeah, and by the way, the big game today is at 4:25. You got the Eagles and the Cowboys.
Oh, wait! The Cowboys are on national TV. Is that what's happening?
Is that, boy? That's rare, huh? Right? Yeah, huh? Isn't it amazing? They haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years, and they lead. I guarantee. I wake up tomorrow, do a few things around the house, get up on the treadmill, turn on any of those, talking heads. It'll be the lead story. Dallas Cowboys.
I looked it up. I think they have, out of the 17 regular season games, I think they have at least 11 either prime time or national television games this year.
So when you look at this Steelers football team, what do you see? You see a possibility
of a win?
No, of maybe actually doing something this year because it's almost over. I mean, it's December, just in a couple of days. Thanksgiving's next week. So what do you think?
I think what I really want to see is, the way that the Steelers dominated and all those turnovers they had when they played the Indianapolis Colts. I think for me, it's about a dominating defense. We know that the offense is not going to be putting up, 30, 35 points a game, whether I believe it's Mason or Aaron Rodgers. But to me, the story is the defense. If they're dominating week in, week out, then the Steelers have a chance in the playoffs.
All right, so let me go down to Turkey Day. You'll be here, and I'll be at home in the home studio doing some work covering these games on my social media platforms. But here's what we got on Thanksgiving. We have got the Packers and Lions at 1 o'clock. Who do you kind of like in that game? Detroit is getting 3.
I think Detroit ekes that one out only because it's at home and the tradition of Thanksgiving. I think Detroit will pull that one out.
All right, so Kansas City, they need a win today. They need to go 6-1 to make the playoffs. But come Thanksgiving, they take on those Cowboys, and KC is favored by 4. What do you think's happened to Kansas City? Is a lot of injuries, or you think they're getting slower? Because Travis Kelce's playing really good football.
Yeah, but I think everybody's time comes to an end. I mean, the Chiefs have been to the AFC Championship game for 8 years in a row or something.
Yeah, enough's enough.
They've won their share of Super Bowls. I just think people are really starting to figure them out. And when you're at the top, all 31 teams are giving you their best shot. Everyone's coming after you, and they're going to figure you out eventually.
All right, so the last game on Thanksgiving in the evening, AFC North matchup, Bengals 3-7, Ravens right now 5-5. But obviously, we shall see after today's action. Burrow is not going to go, although he's been practicing. I'll be honest with you, and I know he's a competitor, and I know he wants to get out there, but I'd sit him the rest of the year. I mean, what you're not going anywhere. You're not going to make the playoffs. I mean, why would you want to risk that? And as far as Lamar Jackson, yeah, he's good. And he's 2-time MVP, but they have no defense. I'm not really worried about the Ravens that much. Really not, even if they have been winning of late.
And Rob, as I'm looking at the whole AFC as a whole, are we going back in time when the when the Patriots are atop the NFL, the AFC and
the dominant force, man?
Right. I mean, I think quietly, people are forgetting that the Patriots and the Broncos are on top.
Last thing we got to talk about, how about the Riverhounds, man? Was that not nice to see?
That was very nice, man. Yeah. I mean, I love championships. I love the city of Pittsburgh's, 26 seasons. Actually, I didn't know they've been around for 26
Well,
years.
Let me tell you something. They probably don't remember, and most of the people are gone. But when they first hit the scene, I was all over them, man. I had them on all the time, coaches, players. I mean, I just was all in because it was new, it was exciting. And then, you'd kind of go through this ebb and flow like a roller coaster at Kennywood. You just never knew where you were going to get, the oohs and ahs. And then all of a sudden, quietly, what happened was not only did he start to win, got some new people in management, but people started to show up at Highmark Stadium. I mean, in the last 2 times they've been there, they've had, if you put both together, they've had like 14,000 fans. That's pretty special. And you've got these watch parties, and you've got these rallies, and you got tailgating. They're going to add seats. So, man, there's something going on there, man.
And of course, you know how it is. People love winners, and you start winning like that. Now watch that attendance just go, so much higher for next season and beyond. And if they can keep, this type of momentum going, that's just another powerhouse we'll have in Pittsburgh.
Listen, let me tell you something. I've covered sports a long time, and you're getting older, and you're still a young man, but when you start covering or looking at players that could be your grandchildren, you're like, my goodness gracious. But I'm telling you, I knew soccer when I was doing high school football. I knew that it was going to find its place. And right now, this is going to ignite. Just like when Lemieux was winning those cups early, who would have ever thought you'd be getting kids from Western Pennsylvania in the NHL? I mean, it's a phenomenon. And the same thing's going to happen with soccer, too. You watch.
Yeah, I mean, and I remember when I was in the 3rd grade and just listen, just being around and hearing about the hockey. Of course, I had never played it, but Lemieux was the person that really got me into it and it really started that fan base in Pittsburgh.
And for your love of tennis, just another reason that I'm going to make you feel old. Yesterday, Billie Jean King turned 82 years of age.
Wow.
That's amazing. I was rooting for her against Bobby Riggs. I'll never forget that, man. She did it to Bobby Riggs in the Houston Astrodome. All right, there he is, Rob Taylor. We'll come back, wrap up the half hour, and get you ready for Doug and the Organic Gardener. And then we're going to do sides and turkey today on the Coons Market, of course, cooking hour. And then keeping your trees healthy and happy, and what exactly they do at Greater Pitt Tree Service with Carlos. And then Accurate Solutions. And then today, Gino DeMarco wrapped up his career this weekend as the head coach of Geneva College, 33 years. He's been named the PAC Coach of the Year. We'll kind of put a button on his career and a bow, and we'll also talk about college football headed towards the playoffs, and he's going to join us through the playoffs in the final time after a really good year. They end up 6-5. Big win yesterday against Robert Morris, but because Mercyhurst did not defeat Central Connecticut State, Duquesne is not going to the postseason, but Jerry Schmidt will be here, and then Ted, Greg, and I get ready to pick our weekly winners against the spread. All right, lots more to do today before we are done, so don't touch that dial. Your Pratt Pack coming back in a matter of minutes on KDKA. Good morning.
When the weather turns bad, turn to us for the best news, weather, and traffic information from the KDKA Radio Storm Center. Presented by Duquesne Light Company. Larger than light. Online and on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio KDKA. Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations that serve you, a Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL championship action yesterday on KDK from AccuShore Stadium. In the 1A championship, it was Clairton, a winner over Laurel, 8-6. AA matchup went to Seton LaSalle. They defeated Steel Valley 21-14. Avonworth won the 3A title with a 30-6 win over Imani Christian. And Peters Township came back from a 19-point halftime deficit to defeat Pine Richland 20-19 to win the 5A championship. Heinzel threw 2 touchdown passes. It was Pitt over Georgia Tech 42-28. Penn State defeated Nebraska 37-10. Ohio State over Rutgers 42-9. Duquesne, they defeated Robert Morris 20-7. Steelers and Bears today still question whether or not Aaron Rodgers should start because of the injured wrist. And the Riverhounds defeated Tulsa penalty kicks 5-3 to claim their first ever championship. More sports at 937thefan.com.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Guy Reschenthaler is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, increasing the standard deduction for hard-working Americans, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Guy Reschenthaler at 202-225-2065 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-548-4040. 800-548-4040. That's 800-548-4040.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
We just have a couple more minutes. Let me wrap it up and kind of stay local with this one. Really happy that the thousands did show up. You never know. Hit and miss with Light Up Night. A lot of times the weather has a lot to do with it. But we really have been taking a lot of negative stories to the news on a regular basis concerning the city of Pittsburgh. I talk about the city all the time in a very positive way because it means a lot to me. But you can't help but look at some of the negative headlines that have been such a big part of that city in recent years. And a lot of it happened during the pandemic. But a sure sign of things to come as far as improvement, the people still love coming to Pittsburgh. If you give them an event to come, they'll come. And, one of the places that's had major renovation done to it is the Strip District. And I was looking at some of the footage of what was going on in the Strip, and it was just joyous to see. But the great thing about the Strip, and I've always felt this way, and I spent a lot of time in the Strip throughout my career at KDK Radio, going back to the 80s, have a lot of friends that have businesses in the Strip, the Sinceri family, just to name one. Obviously, Mr. McNally and that crew, and the Woolley family at Wooley's Market. And I love downtown Pittsburgh, and I love the Strip and the new terminal and everything and the history, and you think of the Permani brothers starting there and all the good stuff that is the Strip District. But when they started this whole revamping of the Strip, I thought, boy, that's a lot of money. They're doing a lot of things. But, it really is becoming such an anchor. But what I used to love about the Strip, when I would finish a weekend show or if I would come into town during the holidays a little earlier on a Steelers Sunday when I was getting ready to go over and cover the Steelers, when you go to the Strip, it's just such a wonderful atmosphere. People from all around this great region we call home, people of all sorts of nationalities and races, just, enjoying maybe a cup of coffee at La Prima, going to Woolies for a fish sandwich, one of them pepperoni rolls at the Strip, as far as Jimmy and Nino's. And of course, Pennsylvania macaroni at Christmas time is one of the most magical places on the planet. And that's one of the reasons why I really push so hard to try to promote Pittsburgh and to get businesses there and to bring people into that community. And we're going to get that guy who's going to be your mayor-elect on a regular basis, Corey O'Connor. We get Rachel Heisler on here. We're always trying to pump up Pittsburgh. We had the new chief in waiting, Mr. Landos, last week. I really want Pittsburgh to be in the forefront again, to make people understand it takes all of us. And when you go into Pittsburgh like you did last night, it puts money in the coffers and gets the money where it needs to be. And you have when you have a Pitt game or a Steeler game or a Penguins hockey or the Pirates, all that stuff really goes into the city. And, the cultural district, the opera, the symphony, the ballet, all of these things, this time of year, the Nutcracker, that stuff just goes such a long way to promote the city. But one of the things that the city continues to need, it needs that population to continue to grow. And I still think of Pittsburgh, from Brighton Heights on the north side, the south side slopes, what's going on in the Hill District. I mentioned the Strip District. There's Lawrenceville, just to name a few, Bloomfield. There's so much good happening in the city. And for those of you who really kept thinking it's over, it's gone, it's never going to come back, I think Light Up Night was a good example of it. That Highmark Light Up Night just continues to grow. Look, I was at the very first one with a guy by the name of John Cigna. They were simulcasting on KDKA television. I mean, I've been at this game a long time. I started as a very young man, and I'm starting to get that vibe that I got back then in the 80s that, this truly is a magical place. It is someplace special, and there is a lot of good news. And that's one of the reasons why, even though it's not directly going to affect the city, and it's not in the city, we are the Steel City. And that's why this story with Nippon and U.S. Steel was so very important to get done. And I think with the Meds and Eds, we're always going to be a cut above the rest. When you have places like Duquesne and Pitt, Robert Morris, great business school just a few miles outside the city, and Carnegie Mellon, anything's possible. UPMC, AHN, all of the great workers, the research. I mean, we truly live in one of the best places on the planet. And all of the innovation, as I mentioned, the technology, names like Facebook and Google are hanging out here, right? But when you also think about having places just a few miles outside the city like Oakland, you could go into Oakland right now on a Sunday morning and it would be like Christmas Day. People were shopping for last-minute gifts. I mean, that's how much business is in Oakland. And if you can find a way to get some of those people to have the ability to get downtown and get back to Oakland or vice versa, I'm telling you, we'll start filling up these buildings again. We'll start generating revenue again. And let's face it, people who live in the city of Pittsburgh have done everything in their entire life to make sure that they're able to do that, and they deserve every opportunity to remain in that city that brought them there in the first place, or if they were born into that city. Pittsburgh has got to have it a little bit better than the rest of us. It's just the way it has to be, because Pittsburgh is the artery, it's the heartbeat. We all feed off this city. So last night, good indication, great turnout, thousands on hand, young and old alike, celebrating the lights, the season, and Highmark just with that incredible brand. And, of course, Light Up Night, there's nothing quite like it. So, hey, this holiday season, get downtown and, hey, spend a little money and let that money do some good, because it's our city, all of our cities. All right, stay tuned. News next, then Doug drops by. It's wall-to-wall phone calls today on The Organic Gardener on KDKA. Good morning.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
It's a time of year where healthcare choices are made by many. What happens next? Physician Dr. Natalie Gentili.
And there's big question marks. The big one being, how are they going to afford health insurance coverage in 2026? In the end, paying cash or self-paying for a lot of their health care is far more affordable.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 39 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 7 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 2 people are in custody. Another person is at large following reports of shots fired in a vehicle crashing into a home. This incident happened Saturday night on Pittsburgh's north side. Police were called to the 400 block of Chester Avenue around 8:30 Saturday night for a report of up to 15 shots fired. Police tried to pull a vehicle over that was fleeing from the scene, but the vehicle didn't stop, according to police. That vehicle then struck a home in the 1900 block of North Charles Street. 3 people were inside the vehicle. All of them ran after the crash. Police were able to catch 2. The third person still at large. Allegheny County Fire Marshal is investigating a house fire in Oakmont. That fire broke out Saturday morning at a home on California Avenue. It took multiple agencies about an hour to get the fire under control. That home suffered extensive damage. Well, quick action by a police officer saved a choking baby. Here's the story from CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz.
It happened this month at the Walmart in Sterling Heights, Michigan, near Detroit.
I rushed in there. I mean, the doors could not open, fast enough.
Officer Edward Talia got a call about a 5-month-old baby not breathing. The child's mother, Bailey Simon, was nursing Jameson when she realized he had choked.
I noticed he went completely limp.
Officer Talia, who had been recertified in CPR just a week earlier, stepped in.
I kneeled down. I started, just a few back blows while I'm still, while I'm talking to him. I could feel him breathing.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Tens of thousands of people came downtown Saturday evening for the 64th annual Light Up Night. Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey addressing the crowd that was gathered in front of the City County building on Grant Street just before the city's official tree was lit.
And so as we go through this holiday season, remember to do one thing. Be intentional on telling your wife, your children, your partner, whomever you may love. Remind them every day, I love you. And City of Pittsburgh, I love you.
And then the tree was lit, followed about an hour later with the Highmark tree being lit at Penn and Stanwix, and then a big fireworks finale over the Allegheny River to cap everything off last night around 9:35. KDK Radio News Time 7:02. AccuWeather forecast next.
Folds of Honor has been meeting sacrifice with hope since 2019 in Western Pennsylvania. It's their honor to empower people through education and the opportunities it creates. 41% of Folds of Honor scholarships are awarded to minorities, making the recipient families as diverse as the country we call home. Folds of Honor has earned the Gold Star Platinum Seal as well as a 4 out of 4 stars ranking on Charity Navigator. You can become a Folds of Honor wingman today at westernpa.foldsofonor.org. Please donate today. Spitzer Toyota of Monroeville is a proud supporter of Folds of Honor.
Tune in to KDKA Radio every Thursday at 2:37 p.m. for your weekly Medicare update with Lisa Lauro from Secure Money Health. Lisa will provide you information on everything related to Medicare and how to prepare for it. Brought to you by Secure Money Health.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply.
The holidays are here at OliverFlowers.com. Flowers make great gifts. OliverFlowers.com. And they deliver. OliverFlowers.com. Family owned for 95 years. OliverFlowers.com. Everything you need to deck the halls. OliverFlowers.com. Looking for the perfect gift? Want to make shopping easy? OliverFlowers.com. Flowers, plants, candy, cuddly plush animals, and yes, balloon bouquets are back. Go to OliverFlowers.com to start your holiday shopping and decorating today. OliverFlowers.com.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a mixture of clouds and sunshine as a breeze develops through the day on the way up to a high of 53. Then that breeze winds down for the evening hours, leaving just a clear sky tonight and a low of 31. For tomorrow, any early sun gives way to more clouds and a high of 51. Then rain and drizzle for Tuesday with a high of 57. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's time to get green. Doug Oster is here. All natural, no pesticides, no artificial ingredients. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, photojournalist, world-renowned traveler, and yeah, he likes to play in the dirt. He's the gardening guy, the guru. He's the organic gardener. He's Doug Oster. And today, your treat as we head into the holiday week, it's wall-to-wall phone calls. So if you have any questions, especially for those indoor plants, you need to call us right now. 866-391-1020. All gardening questions welcome. The gate is open, so we're off and running. 866-391-1020. And the 10th caller right now at 412-922-1020 wins a $25 gift certificate to Sorgel. So Thanksgiving is coming up in just a couple of days, and Mr. Oster and his lovely bride and family will be gathering. So do you have a favorite when it comes to I know what your favorites are for the 7 fishes, but what about Thanksgiving?
It's got to be the stuffing inside the bird.
Got to be inside the bird.
Yeah, we're having like 12 or 15 people over, and I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how I'm going to work this because that's the only thing I care about. I don't want everybody else to have my stuffing.
Hide it real deep in the bird.
They can have the stuffing they make outside the bird.
So you have both?
Yeah.
Your wife, she's incredible. That's
yes, she
cool.
is.
Now, what about pie? You like pie at all? The pie?
Do I like pie?
Yeah, like,
Who doesn't like pie? You ever hear somebody didn't like pie?
I'm not. I like pumpkin, but really my favorite from the time I was a kid, it's raisin pie.
What? Never even heard of it.
It's really good. It's just basically crust and raisins, but it's good.
Yeah, got to be the pumpkin pie. What is your favorite thing?
Basically, just sitting. You know what I mean? Just relaxing, and food-wise, it's just turkey. I like.
You just kind of like sit there at the head of the table, eyes glaze over,
No, there's nobody.
Little glass of gravy.
There's nobody at my table. I'm alone on Thanksgiving, but that's okay. I'll be working covering the NFL. But
gotta have that stuffing. That's all I care about.
When I was a kid, the way I really liked my stuffing was cold out of the refrigerator.
Yeah,
about
I can't
midnight.
beat that too.
Now, when you say stuffing, is it the traditional stuffing, or do you
just get some breadcrumbs? Sometimes it's already pre-spiced breadcrumbs. Sometimes it's just breadcrumbs we made, and then you add what you want to add. It's got to be celery in there, got to be onions, got to be garlic. If I had my druthers, I'd have mushrooms in there, but I got a couple people coming that don't like mushrooms.
So, now, do you ever carry over anything from your garden for Thanksgiving?
That's a good question, yes, because I was going to talk about that. I've got a bunch of tomatoes that are still ripening inside, like in a bag with an apple, and it's mostly Limbaugh Legacy Potato Top. The later tomatoes that are really super meaty, those are the ones that do best. In fact, I meant to look at those yesterday, but I saw some of them blushing, so if I'd have tomatoes. I could serve lettuce, but, there's going to be so much food already. I'll have tomatoes. I'll probably want to brag about tomatoes, like, oh, I have some tomatoes from the garden, and if anybody cares, I'll say, how do you do that? I can't believe you're going to... Well, you see, what you do is you take them off at the end of the season, you put them in a bag, put them in an apple. It's all about having a green thumb.
Do you carve the turkey? Do they put the knife in your hand?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's the best... I've never carved a turkey. What's the best way to do it?
I really don't do it the right way. I just kind of stick the fork in there and start hacking it up and everything, and eventually there's a big platter filled with turkey.
Now,
white or dark?
White.
Oh, I'm dark. I got to have the dark.
Well,
meat.
I like both. But I do like both, though. But white's always been... I've been more preference.
Some people cook the turkey upside down to make the breast meat moist, and some people brine their turkeys, and some people deep fry their turkeys.
Smoke their turkeys.
Yeah, all sorts of different ways to do it. Some people say you can't put stuffing inside the turkey.
Yeah, that started to happen about 10, 15 years ago. It might not be a healthy thing, but who hasn't had their bird stuffed?
Yeah, definitely.
Not
everybody does it. People are scared. You can't do it overnight. You got to do it that morning. You got to put the stuffing in.
All right, listen, we want to hear from you. Get on the phones, 866-391-1020. And we are already got a person that wants to talk to Doug. It's Ron in West Mifflin about his spider plant. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Good.
Good. Doug, I had a quick question. I purchased a spider plant and recently brought it indoors. And it's getting some dead ends on the very tips. Is that typical?
Yeah, when you're changing the lighting from outdoors to indoors, the spider plants are almost indestructible. The only way you can really kill it is overwatering it. So keep it on the dry side. Put it in a window. Do you have south-facing window? That'd be the best place, but it'll grow just about anywhere.
Yeah, occasionally I'll put it on the table next to the window because it's in a little darker area, and I thought that it would be, need more light. And also, you answered the water question, but I guess, is that a good idea to bring it out into the sunlight, direct sunlight near the window?
That's fine for it. Would actually it would prefer indirect light, but you'll be fine. Okay. Spider plants are tough. Use the finger test. You stick the finger down into the dirt, and if it's moist, wait. Don't give it water. If it's dry, give it a little bit of water. And then, do you know how to make more spider plants by just putting the babies into a pot? That's kind of cool.
No, I don't know how to do that.
So when it makes like
I'm having trouble on the first one.
Yeah. Well, now you're going to even have more, because what it's going to do is it's going to send out like babies. And they look like a little spider plant, and they'll start to get roots on the bottom. You just stick those roots into a pot with some soil, and it'll root in there, and then you just separate it from the mother plant once it roots, and now you have another spider plant to take care of. And eventually you'll have like 30 spider plants to take care of, and you'll be a spider plant expert.
All right, Doug. Well, thank you very much for your help. I appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
to you
Thanksgiving. Good luck with
All
that
right,
spider plant.
Isn't it amazing how some of these names stick? Like how somebody one day said, "This is the spider plant," and then these names just go on forever.
Did you have any house plants in your house growing up?
No.
We didn't have any either, but like in the 70s, it was a big deal. Now it's become a big deal again. People love houseplants. Houseplants, there's a great data from NASA that it cleans the air, not just creates oxygen, but it's taking the bad things out of the air and cleansing it, and of course you get the oxygen out of it. And it's nice to have something on the windowsill to grow. And it used to be just everything was green. Now you can get all sorts of cool colors. And something that's kind of gone out of favor, but is such a great plant for the windowsill are African violets. African violets, they'll bloom for a long time. The best actually to be watered from like down below, because sometimes the water on top can make those leaves kind of spotted. But they have just this long bloom time. And when I worked in Ohio, way back in the 80s, they actually had a greenhouse, and that's all they grew were African violets. And I went in there once to take just looking for a place to take pictures. And the guy was telling me even back then, I'm like, wow, man, this is amazing. All these different African violets. And he said, well, I can just tell you right now, we've been here for like 50 years, but we're not going to be here because, the box stores can sell them so much cheaper. We can't keep up. And that was the end of that place. But I learned a lot about beautiful, beautiful African violets, and I love having them on the windowsill. There's all sorts of different flowers that you can know. There's one called Streptocarpus, where sometimes you'll see it in like a hanging basket. It's like a purple flower. That's a good one for growing on the windowsill. Kalanchoe is another one. It kind of looks like a succulent, but it'll flower for you. And of course, you got your amaryllis and paper whites, and we'll be talking about all this indoor stuff as the winter goes on. But boy, I'll tell you what, I'm not allowed to add any more plants to the indoor table, but every time somebody turns their back, I sneak one on there because it's good. It's good for everybody. You get those plants there you can take care of. You've got the oxygen. You've got clean air. What else could you ask for? Gives
you somebody to talk to too.
That's right. Talk to your plants.
All right. Listen, 866-391-1020. Chuck's going to be up next from Shaler. We'd love to hear from you. Doug is in the very friendly mode today to where he wants to give you any advice that you need dealing with your gardening tips and tricks. And again, so maybe, getting ready to shutter the lawn, some things outside, you need help with that as well. Give us a call. 866-391-1020. It's The Organic Gardener, Doug Oster, DougOster.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you, a Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL championship action yesterday on KDK from AccuShore Stadium. In the 1A championship, it was Clairton, a winner over Laurel. 8-6 AA matchup went to Seton LaSalle. They defeated Steel Valley 21-14. Avonworth won the 3A title with a 30-6 win over Imani Christian. And Peters Township came back from a 19-point halftime deficit to defeat Pine Richland 20-19 to win the 5A championship. Heinzel threw 2 touchdown passes. It was Pitt over Georgia Tech 42-28. Penn State defeated Nebraska 37-10. Ohio State over Rutgers 42-9. Duquesne, they defeated Robert Morris 20-7. Steelers and Bears today still question whether or not Aaron Rodgers will start because of the injured wrist. And the Riverhounds defeated Tulsa penalty kicks 5-3 to claim their first ever championship. More sports at 937thefan.com.
Is it soda or is it pop? The very question has baffled philosophers for centuries. At Red Ribbon, we call it soda pop. Coming from a time when every small community had their own soda pop shop to call their own, we bottle Pittsburgh's pop with the same quality and standards as we did when the first bottles rolled off the line in 1904. Made with cane sugar, Red Ribbon Cherry Pop will take you back, way back. Look for our products at any Giant Eagle or Giant Eagle Market District, and always remember to drink Red Ribbon.
Calling all grades 9 through 12 students. Are you ready to think big, act bold, invest smart. Junior Achievement Stock Market Challenge presented by Citizens returns December 11th and 12th at Stage AE in Pittsburgh. Teams of 3 to 4 will compete head-to-head in a simulated stock market, making fast decisions, responding to real-world trends. No experience required. Win cash prizes, claim your trophy, and maybe represent Western Pennsylvania at the national level. Teachers, mentors, volunteers, your role matters too. Go to jawesternpa.org and secure your spot today.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Well, the holidays are here, and we at Sorgles want to say, first of all, thank you to you, our customers, for a blessed year. Hi, this is Randy Sorgel, and we want to welcome you to Sorgles in Wexford for all of your holiday shopping. We have poinsettias, houseplants, wreaths, garlands, and greens to help you decorate. Visit our greenhouse that is truly something like you have not seen here before. And our home accents has unique decorating and gift ideas, especially our baby apparel. Parents and grandparents, if you need a special outfit for your child or grandchild, please come now while the selection is amazing. But I also want to tell you plant lovers to visit our new website edition. Go to reserveandroot.com. You will now be able to pre-order plants and pick them up when they arrive from our suppliers. This includes everything from houseplants to apple trees for next spring. Sorgles, 724-935-2090, right off the Wexford exit of I-79.
Doug Oster tells you how to keep it green. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM at AM 1020. KDKA.
Yeah, we'd love you to get a hold of Doug right now and get some of those gardening questions answered. 866-391-1020. Here's Chuck in Shaler. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Doug.
Morning.
How you guys doing?
Everything is going good. What's on your mind?
I have my butterfly bush didn't do good this year. It's 5 years old. I bought it from a nursery too. I didn't, buy it from a box store. I bought a better one because I really like the butterfly bushes. But it didn't sprout till almost to the end of June, and none of the old wood had any growth on it. It was just all new growth. And I don't know, should I cut it back?
Yeah, in general, they are fickle. They can go 1 year or they can go 20 years, and then they just kind of give up the ghost. To see what's going on with it, it should be cut back to about 18 inches, 12 to 18 inches when it goes dormant here at the end of the season. And then we want to see if we get new growth off where we cut it. The old, like if you just leave that old growth on there, a lot of times it'll bloom, but not as nicely as when you cut it back. So I just wait a little bit, wait till make sure it's completely dormant, cut it back to 12, 18 inches, and then see what happens in the spring. If it's not going crazy, if it's not happy, just rip it out and throw another one in there. That's the best thing to do for a butterfly bush. And since you love them, get another color, get a couple of them. I would actually, if you love the butterfly bush, that was your thing, I'd have a couple around the landscape because they're just fickle. They're and there's nothing you're doing wrong or anything. Sometimes they just give up the ghost. But I wouldn't give up on this one yet. I would, as I said, hack it back, and then maybe in the spring give it a little bit of garden tone or plant tone, some kind of organic granular fertilizer to give it a jump start and just see how it does.
Okay, yeah, this first year that I really thought it was dead because it didn't start sprouting until late in June. But
yeah, that's a little late. Did it bloom okay?
Yeah, but not as vibrant as it has the last 4 or 5. I bought that in 2020.
And did you ever cut it back, or it was on the old wood? It was doing that.
It was doing I never cut it back.
Yeah, that's going to make a big difference. That's really going to invigorate it. And it's really hard to do because you're looking at like almost a tree, and you're thinking, gosh, I'm going to cut this thing down to 18 inches, and I'm going to cut off all that growth. Trust me that it's the best thing to do because when it does sprout, those new sprouts will just flower like crazy. All right? So I know it's a leap of faith to do it, but just trust me and do it, and you'll be so happy in the spring, I think. All right?
Oh, that sounds good. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Chuck.
So I appreciate that.
You got it.
All right, here's John in Hampton for Doug. Nothing but your calls today, 866-391-1020. Hi, John.
Hi. A couple weeks ago, the gas company dug up part of my front yard, to put a new gas line in, and then they refilled it, and they pounded it down, the dirt. And they're going to reseed it back to its normal condition. But they haven't shown up yet, and I'm just wondering, will they just wait until like March or something, do you think, and reseed it? Or if they reseeded it within the next few weeks, would the grass grow, or would it just sit there until spring shows up?
So they do. People do seed very late in the season, and it could happen either way. If it was a really mild start to the winter, you could get some sprouting, just because the soil temperature is so high. But if not, it'd be okay for that seed to sit there. And then the third option might be that we'll come back in the spring. Well, actually, the fourth option will be like, oh, we forgot about that guy that we cut. We dug that big ditch in front of his house. We need to get back there, and then by that time it's July, and you're like you'd already done it by yourself. So.
Well, I have a very outspoken next door neighbor, so I have a feeling that he's going to
take care of things. He's going to take care of things for you.
Yeah, I had another off the topic question, but you said you had 12 people over for your Thanksgiving dinner.
It's the table's already set. I'm not sure. It might be more than 12, but go ahead.
Well, anyway, my question is, how do you deal with all those people? How do you deal with the wishbone? Who gets to pull the wishbone?
The grandkids. You got a 3-year-old and one that's going to be 5. They're going to get the wishbone.
Okay.
That's the way we'll do it. Yeah, that would be kind of confusing, if you had 6 people on one side, 6 people on the other side pulling the wishbone. So.
Yeah, because I always think these turkey companies, they cut up the turkey, to make TV dinners. They should sell packets of wishbones so you could buy 24 of them and have like a double elimination tournament.
All right, buddy. Thanks for your call.
Okay.
Appreciate it. That's good stuff.
So if you could wish for anything in your profession of gardening, what would it be? Continuous rain? I mean, what would you want?
Geez.
Favorite tool, some plant you've never been able to grow, an opportunity to promote what you do nationally, internationally?
No, I think it would, when you ever think of a wish, I think nowadays at our age, it has to be about health. It has to be about good health. Everything else you could buy. You can buy. Just give me the ability to keep gardening. That's what I would wish for. To give me the ability to keep fishing and keep gardening.
Would you want to go back to it being 30 again?
No way.
40?
No. It's just, it's you've got to you've got to live the way you live. We're at a certain point in our life where I know it's. It could fantasize about like, oh gosh, I remember what I used to feel like. But this is just the way you gotta, it's just a different part of our life.
Well, I hope I have your attitude when I reach your age.
All right. Yeah.
Anyway, we will take a break and we'll come back. I'm actually older. When we come back on the other side, I want to hear from more of you. So he's giving you an opportunity to ask anything that's on your mind when it comes to gardening, lawn, you name it. He'll do it. Indoor gardening as well, those little house plants. Talk to Doug. He's here until 8 o'clock. And then we're talking about sides and turkey on the Coons Cooking Hour. All still to come today with your Pratt Pack. We're here till 1 o'clock on KDKA 100.1 FM AM 1020. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Rob Taylor will drop by to give you the latest news, and it was a spectacular night. Thousands on hand for the 64th annual Light Up Night in our fair city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Good morning. Gobble, gobble, up some great savings at Coons Market for Turkey Day 2025. Isn't that right, Frank Dentisi?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. USDA Grade A frozen honeysuckle white young turkeys, 98 cents a pound. Fresh southern yams, 47 cents a pound. And selected varieties of Marie Callender pies, 24.5 to 42-ounce boxes, 2 for $10. Additional savings in our meat department. USDA Grade A frozen honeysuckle white young turkey breast, $1.39 a pound. And wild-caught fresh Alaskan cod fillets are $10.99 a pound. In the produce department, all-purpose Idaho potatoes, 8-pound bag, $2.88 each, And Little Leaf Farms leaf lettuce, 4-ounce packages, 2 for $6. In the deli department, pumpkin mousse is $5.99 a pound. And this week, selected varieties of Heinz Homestyle gravy, 12-ounce jars, $1.69 each.
How do you find the Coons Market nearest you? Click on CoonsMarket.com. Happy Thanksgiving from Coons Market, a Pittsburgh and holiday tradition.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/life.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want while you sleep. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richard, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. Wake up to your friends, weekday mornings on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 40 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 7:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A fire broke out at a business in Turtle Creek this morning, prompting a large emergency response. That fire occurring on Braddock Avenue around 4:30 this morning. And it's near an area near the RIDC industrial building. Right now, still unclear if anyone was injured. County's hazardous response team is also working in that area. 2 people are in custody. Another person is on the run following reports of shots fired, then a vehicle crashed into a home. The incident happened Saturday night around 8:30 on the north side. Police were called to the 400 block of Chester Avenue around 8:30 Saturday night for a report of up to 15 shots fired. Police then tried to pull over a vehicle that was fleeing from the scene, but the vehicle did not stop, according to police. That's when that vehicle struck a home in the 1900 block of North Charles Street. 3 people were inside the vehicle. All of them ran after the crash, but police caught 2 of them. 3rd person is still at large. Well, tens of thousands of people came downtown Saturday evening for the 64th annual Light Up Night festivities. Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey, addressing the crowd, gathered in front of the City County building on Grant Street just before the city's official tree was lit.
And so as we go through this holiday season, remember to do one thing. Be intentional on telling your wife, your children, your partner, whomever you may love. Remind them every day, I love you. And City of Pittsburgh, I love you.
Of course, a few hours later, the High Bark Tree at Penn and Stanwix was lit, and the big fireworks finale over the Allegheny River to cap everything off around 9:30 last night. Well, quick action by a police officer saved a choking baby. Let's get the story from CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz.
It happened this month at the Walmart in Sterling Heights, Michigan, near Detroit.
I rushed in there. I mean, the doors could not open, fast enough.
Officer Edward Talia got a call about a 5-month-old baby not breathing. The child's mother, Bailey Simon, was nursing Jameson when she realized he had choked.
I noticed he went completely limp.
Officer Talia, who had been recertified in CPR just a week earlier, stepped in.
I kneeled down. I started, just a few back blows while I'm still, while I'm talking to him. I could feel him breathing.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
KDKA Radio News Time 7:33. The AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Hey folks, Marty here. Beat the crowd. Shop Black Friday now at Levin Furniture and Mattress. My friend Robert Levin and his team are the lowest prices of the year on furniture and mattresses. Incredible hot buys. Plus, take 25% off store-wide. Leave your wallet at home. Get 5-year special financing on qualifying purchases of $24.99 or more. No money down, plus guaranteed low prices on top mattress brands. Black Friday now at Levin Furniture and Mattress.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
The second half of this weekend brings periods of sun and clouds with a developing breeze and a high of 53. Tonight looks clear as that breeze then winds down with a low of 31. Then sunshine gives way to more clouds tomorrow and a high of 51, ahead of a less cool day for Tuesday with rain and drizzle at times, high 57. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, back to it on Monday. Big football weekend, which we'll talk about on Monday, and so much more. And it's a holiday week. Let's go, short week. Colin Dunlap back Monday, 2 to 6 right here, KDK.
Let's take the 10th caller right now. 412-922-1020. You win a gift certificate to Janoski's. They're getting ready for the big open house. I'll tell you more about that for the holidays in just a little bit. But Doug is here today taking nothing but phone calls up until the hour of 8 o'clock. 866-391-1020. So when I say gardening and I say Thanksgiving and I say November, what comes to mind? What can you actually be doing now that can actually pay dividends for gardening?
Oh, believe it or not, I got so much to do yet. I just finished planting this Franklinia tree. I've dreamed of growing a Franklinia. I've talked about it a couple times here. It's a very unusual tree, discovered in the 1765. I wrote down a little thing about it. John and William Bartram first observed the Franklinia tree growing along the Altamaha River near Fort Barrington in the British colony of the province of Georgia. Like I said, 1765. They find this tree. They name it for Ben Franklin. Now they go back again and they can't find it. And now the tree doesn't grow in the wild. You can only get it from a nursery, and it's really hard to grow. But I got a big one, and I planted it and put it in, and I was actually thinking about it today when I was driving in. Right across the road from where we pull out of the studio, there's this building, business building, and some new guy took over the maintenance of the property, and they were volcano mulching this giant oak tree. And when I drove in today, I looked over, no more oak tree. And that's what volcano mulch does. And so I was just thinking about planting that Franklinia, how I was taking a special care to, like we've talked here when Davy Tree's on, about that root flare and keeping the root flare above ground. That's where the trunk meets the roots. We talk about it all the time, but that has to be brushed off, and it can't go down deeper. And so that's what I did with this Franklinia. But the Franklinia needs acidic soil, which I've got it set up in a place with acidic soil. It needs morning sun, afternoon shade. It has these really beautiful flowers at the end of the season. They kind of look like peony flowers, white peony flowers. And so I'm just glad to get that job done. But believe it or not, there's still time to plant trees and shrubs. They love to be planted this time of the year. I just picked up like 4 big pots of pansies. Again, they're almost giving them away, and so I might put one in the greenhouse just to have, but I'll put the other ones outside and enjoy the color. I just picked up some flowering kale and put it in a pot that had begonias in it. That flowering kale, I'm sure I told the story a million times that when I lived in Ohio, there was this garden center there, and they had this giant purple flowering kale, and it was, back then November was covered with snow, and I'm like, what is that? How can a plant be growing this time of the year? And that's what they told me, flowering kale. Oh, we got a caller there, Rob.
Yes, we do. One of our favorites, Diane, usually calls in on the Coons Cooking Hour. She's talking gardening today. Hey, Diane.
Good morning, guys. I really appreciate you taking the call, and Doug, all the wealth of knowledge you always offer. So I have 2 questions and a share. So, Doug, I'm curious, do you have any recommendation? Is there any kind of fertilizer that's worth putting on the garden to help winterize it? My other question is concerning pea spots on the grass. Is it best to just leave them go at this point? And, Doug, I have to tell you, my potted parsley is doing fine. Oregano's holding on, but my basil has gone bye-bye.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds pretty good, though. That parsley, that can hang around most of the winter, and same with the oregano. You can keep going outside for quite a while. Okay. So, first question, give it to me again.
Sure. Any particular
fertilizers. So for
winterizing the garden.
Yeah, for putting the garden to bed, you could throw on an organic granular fertilizer, like those ones I talked about. They're inexpensive, easy to find. Plant tone, garden tone. Also, compost would be a good thing. Shredded leaves to put on a bed. Just especially like mulching a bed at the end of the season so that we don't lose that good soil to winter erosion. And so straw, shredded leaves, bark mulch, whatever you can get on there. But I'm always trying to put compost on any bed beforehand. I prefer to put the granular fertilizer on in the spring, but there would be nothing wrong. You would release its nutrients and sit there for you over the winter. That'd be fine to do it if you wanted to do it now. And then for the stains on the grass, one of the techniques is, at this point in the season, it's probably too late to do anything. But when the dog is, we're in the summer and everything, try and get them to move to different spots if you can, and then try and flood that spot with water. That will dilute it, and so you won't have the spots. Either that or you do the reverse and you just let the dog go in the same exact spot every time, and you just know that spot's not going to be that's just the way it's going to be. So that's how I would deal with it. There are some products, like you go to like one of the pet stores, there are some products that you can apply to the grass after the dog does its business. So think about that too.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. And on the topic of mulching, my husband thought it was brilliant this year to get the mulching blade for our mower. All I can tell you is I'm going crazy because I have leaf confetti now being tracked all through the house. And my other, I don't know, Doug, I'm still like, well, is this too much mulch for the grass? Like, that's the first time we've ever done that.
Diane, that's actually one of my jobs for today is to mulch this big flat area that's just filled with leaves, and that's actually where the grandkids play too. So I think we're going to be dealing with the same thing with the leaf confetti coming in and out of the house. Well, he's not allowed to he's not allowed to wear his shoes in the house anymore. He's got to get him a pair of Skechers so that he can kick them off and kick them on. That's what I use in the garden is Skechers boots so that I don't track everything in. I don't bring the garden in with me.
Well, it's that, and then the fur babies. I try to wipe their feet off, but it gets up underneath their paws.
Oh, I get it.
Into the fur.
I get it. I get it.
Well, thank you so much for always the great advice.
Thanks for your call, and thanks for your kind words. I appreciate it.
Have a blessed Thanksgiving. Appreciate everything you guys do.
You too. Have a great Thanksgiving.
All right, Cindy's up next for Doug from Allison Park on The Organic Gardener. Hey, Cindy.
Good morning, gentlemen. I have a comment and then I have a question. I wanted to tell you my success story for this summer was I grew that Purple Roma tomato that the lady from Canada had recommended.
Nikki, right?
Yes.
Oh, so let's start there. Let's hear about it.
Well, I gave it to my sister, who always starts the seeds from start seeds, and then she gave me the plant. Those Purple Romas were so firm, and they were so delicious. They had a really good, robust flavor, and the plant itself was very prolific. So everyone I gave it to said, "Oh, that's so delicious." And it starts out real purple. It's deep purple, and then when it ripens, it's like a pink color.
Wow.
But it was really worth growing.
And how did you get through the drought with that, okay?
Well, that was one of the reasons I called, was because we had soaker hoses. Yes, they did well, but those are all starting to leak. I started to look for new ones, and I started to investigate, but the one that I kind of thought I was going to like had the Prop 65 warning on it, cancer causing.
Yeah.
And I don't know do you use soaker hoses? Do you have any advice on that?
I don't use them, but I would love to use them. I don't think the Prop 65 stuff is an issue, to tell you the truth, for just water leaching out of it. I would love to have what we call drip irrigation, which is similar to a soaker hose, but running it all the way out to where my garden is would be nuts. It would be nuts. But I think it's the most effective way to use the water, and you could time it and put it down. A lot of times, like professional, like at farms, they'll put the drip down and then they'll put plastic on top of that to stop the weeds. And as long as the drip's underneath there, it keeps the plants happy. But yeah, soaker hoses, I think, are actually a great way to go.
Well, with our soaker, we have two gardens, and the one in front is way down by the mailbox, and I do run a hose from the house, and it just stays connected. We can run it in and out with the car doesn't bother it, or the garage door, and I run that hose all the way down and then just connect it to the garden down there, because it was a brutal summer.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
So my new project for coming year is that garlic that you talked about.
That's Nikki's thing.
Yeah, I got you had just had that on a few weeks ago. So
right.
The Rose 7 seed company has those garlic seeds, so I'm really curious to try those. So I'm going to give those to my sister again for Christmas, so she can get the seeds going and see how that works out.
So get them going like tomato time, like April 1st, March, somewhere in there. Have a decent sized plant, and then plant them in the spring. Right? Is that how you're going to do it?
I'm going to leave that up to her, because she's the expert.
That's probably the way I would say to do it. I'm interested to hear about that. So keep us posted. Now we're about to take a break. Do you have some more stuff to talk about? Do you want to hang on, or are you done?
I'm done, but thank you for all you do and for these guests and for always keeping us informed. I really appreciate it. And blessed holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Thanks so much, Cindy. Have a great Thanksgiving, and thanks for your kind words.
All right, stay with us. We've got more to come with Doug, 866-391-1020.
The KDKA Mobile News Fleet is driven by Jim Shorkey Kia, North Huntington and Wexford. JimShorkeyKia.com.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations in Fairfield, Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL championship action yesterday on KDK from AccuShore Stadium. In the 1A championship, it was Clairton, a winner over Laurel, 8-6. AA matchup went to Seton LaSalle. They defeated Steel Valley 21-14. Avonworth won the 3A title with a 30-6 win over Imani Christian. And Peters Township came back from its 19-point halftime deficit to defeat Pine Richland 20-19 to win the 5A championship. Heinzel threw 2 touchdown passes. It was Pitt over Georgia Tech 40 42-28. Penn State defeated Nebraska 37-10. Ohio State over Rutgers 42-9. Duquesne, they defeated Robert Morris 20-7. Steelers and Bears today still question whether or not Aaron Rodgers will start because of the injured wrist. And the Riverhounds defeated Tulsa penalty kicks 5-3 to claim their first ever championship. More sports at 937thefan.com.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Guy Reschenthaler is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, increasing the standard deduction for hard-working Americans, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Guy Reschenthaler at 202-225-2065 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Hey, get ready for that open house at the farm, Janowski's Farm, Saturday, December the 6th from 10 in the morning until 4. Listen to this rundown. Christmas vendor show, Hayride from 11 a.m. to 4. Cookie decorating for the kids. They'll just love that. Farm market, 10% off regular priced items in the gift shop as well. And in-store specials, door prizes, and more. And how about the Greenhouse and Garden Center? Such a popular destination this time of year. Beautiful selection of poinsettias, Christmas tree giveaway, and more. And don't forget to get details about the winter wonderland of snow. It's Janowski's in Clinton.
What does living your best nonstop life mean to you? Cheering on your team at that big game? A music festival with friends? A family vacation? Or maybe a vacation from your family? Live your best nonstop life with low fares and nonstop flights only at Allegiant.com.
Non-stop flights from Pittsburgh to Sarasota Bradenton, one way for as low as $57. Must be purchased by 12/3/2025 for travel between 10/28/2025 and 5/17/2026. Seats and dates limited. Restrictions apply. See Allegiant.com for details.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
Doug Oster tells you how to keep it green. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
I just like getting out one of those big rakes from the shed and just cleaning things up before we say goodbye for another week. So here he is. I'll give him the rake. He's going to go to work. But if you want to jump in here with any question, we do have a couple of minutes left. You can dial this number because we have available lines at 866-391-1020. Doug.
I wish you'd bring that rake over and help me get rid of all these leaves.
What's your technique? Do you get the blower out?
I have to have the blower because it's just impossible to do it any other way. Trust me on that because there are so many, and they're the big oak leaves. And so, I had time yesterday. I spent a couple hours doing it yesterday. I'm glad I did because I did see something when I got up this morning that was going to get windy today after the sun came up. You can't blow leaves when it's windy. It'll drive you nuts. But then the other part of it is I blow them. Luckily, I have a place to blow them where I'm not blowing them off the property. And so I've got places where actually somebody's been blowing leaves over the edge since 1939, since that house was there. And so there's good compost down in there. And so none of the leaves leave the property, but like the driveway has to be clear, otherwise you can't get up. The patio has to be clear. There's all these trails through the woods that have to be clear for, walking the dogs and such. So that stuff just needs to be done. If I got lucky and it was windy today, I wouldn't have to do it. I would be.
How do you know when it's time and you're not going to get it? Just by looking at the trees, like, okay, everything's gone, now's the time, or should you try to do a little bit every year?
I try and do it early, but yesterday I was looking out in the morning and I was like, they were just all dropping off, and I'm like, today's the day. The weather's right, although the leaves were a little heavy because it rained. But I just, I got a lot done, and then looking at the weather now, I want to have this all done before Wednesday. All my garden work done by Wednesday, but we'll see.
All right, let's take this final call. Sandy in Monroeville, African violets, the topic of conversation with the organic gardener, Doug Oster. Good morning, Sandy.
Hi. You intrigued me about the African violets. I think I want to get some, but I just want to know more about care and feeding.
So, very easy to take care of. The only thing that we talk about when we talk about African violets is, for the most part, they're watered from below, meaning just you put like a little saucer below the pot, and you put a little water or water/fertilizer in the dish, and then you let the plant soak it up, but you don't leave water sitting in there. You want that water to get out of there and for the plant to eat it up. And we don't fertilize until we get to the spring. The days aren't long enough. And just like any other house plant, you kind of keep it a little bit on the dry side, but not neglecting it. And when they do bloom, Sandy, it's amazing because they can bloom for months. And there's all sorts of different colors and flower shapes nowadays. And you can find them very inexpensively. And then you can make more plants from that plant. You can take leaf cuttings, and sometimes you can just split off parts that grow. Does that help?
Good. How about south-facing window or what? North-facing?
Any indirect light will be perfect. South-facing would be great, but you could do north, south, east, and west, and they'd be happy.
Okay.
All right, Sandy, I want to get to some other callers here. Rose and Paul, we're going to try and get you in here.
Go ahead, Rose.
Hi, guys. Hey, I had a tree that I had to take down in my backyard, and now I have lots of sun back there. Didn't have it before. And I planted marigolds, and a whole big bed of marigolds, and they were great. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm trying to get the seeds from the marigolds. I got all the seeds. I have a bag full of them. And someone said I could just throw them out there in the spring, and they'll bloom. Is that right? They'll turn into plants.
That could happen. You could do that. I prefer to take a little bit more control, but you could do it that way. I've actually had them, Rose, do it on their own, where I'm not even saving them or anything. They've just dropped into a pot or dropped into the garden, and they sprout. But another way to do that, I would do it two ways. I would throw those seeds on your bed in the spring, but you want that to be some good soil. The other way would be just do them in like a little flat, like last year's flower containers, and just fill that up with a planting mix, throw them in there, cover that with plastic to keep it moist, and then see what you get to sprout in there, and then you could plant those too.
Oh, fabulous.
All right.
Okay. And
Rose,
already, thank you so
I'm going to try and get to Paul here real quick.
All right.
Let's
say hi to Paul. Last call of the day. Hey, good morning, Paul.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. I have a hedgerow I want to trim back. I was wondering if this is a good time to do it.
It's a little late. If you could wait till the spring, it'd be better off. You don't want that hedgerow to put on new growth before it can harden off, because you'll get like winter tip burn on it. Can it wait till the spring?
Sure.
Yeah.
So what, March?
Yeah, right coming out of that dormancy, late February, early March would be the perfect time to do it, and the plant will be much happier that way. Okay, Paul?
All right, you got 1 minute, all yours.
Well, come with me to Poland then. We can talk a little bit about that. I love traveling. We just got back from Sicily and southern Italy, but dreaming of seeing Poland. We're going to see the gardens of Poland. We're going to see the different cities in Poland. That's in June. We've got plenty of seats left. There's no hurry. Take a look at that. You can actually watch at my website at dougoster.com. You can watch a webinar showing every stop. My wife visited Poland last year, and that's where I got the idea to go. She loved it. She went with my son, and they just fell in love with Poland. And if you've got a connection to Poland, come along, take a look, see if the trip's right for you. We have a lot of fun when we travel, and it becomes a little travel family. And a lot of people travel with me, trip after trip after trip. Remember, organic gardeners, you make our world brighter and safer with each seed you sow and every garden you grow.
All right, to you and yours, happy Turkey Day, Doug. Stay with us. News next, and then it's Frank, then TC. We're talking sides and turkey as the countdown is underway for Thanksgiving 2025. Your Pratt Pack, Rob Taylor, next with the news at 8.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
It's a time of year where healthcare choices are made by many. And what happens next? Sleep physician Dr. Natalie Gentili.
And there's big question marks. The big one being, how are they going to afford health insurance coverage in 2026? In the end, paying cash or self-paying for a lot of their health care is far more affordable.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Have you been told there is nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that's not true. As one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has grown to 9 regional centers and helped over 14,000 patients, like Bill from Mars. Bill's neuropathy got so bad he couldn't sleep due to the pain and was losing his balance, causing him to have frequent falls. Then Bill found Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Their effective FDA-approved treatment program greatly improved Bill's neuropathy, and now he's sleeping through the night, can feel his feet again, and has no more pain. Listen to Bill's complete story at marydanston.com. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers help Bill along with thousands of others. Let them help you next. Call 724-940-9000. That's 724-940-9000. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 40 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 8 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 2 people are in custody. Another person is on the run following reports of shots fired and then a vehicle crashing into a home. This incident happened on Saturday night around 8:30 in the 400 block of Chester Avenue. Police were originally called there for a report of shots fired. They tried to pull over a vehicle that was fleeing from that scene on Chester Avenue, but the vehicle did not stop, according to police. That's when that vehicle struck a home in the 1900 block of North Charles Street, a few blocks over. 3 people were inside the vehicle. All of them tried to run following the crash. Police were able to catch 2 of the people from the car. The 3rd person is still at large. Well, a fire broke out at a business in Turtle Creek this morning, prompting a large emergency response. That fire occurred on Braddock Avenue around 4:30 this morning at an area near the RIDC Industrial Building. Right now, it's unclear if anyone was injured. 9 people were shot, 1 killed, a 14-year-old following holiday festivities in Chicago on Friday night. Here's CBS reporter Asal Rizali.
7 people were shot here near the Chicago Theater. A separate scene had 2 other people that were shot. The person at that scene, we learned, has died. Witnesses tell us the victims seemed all to be very young, in their teenage years.
Shootings followed the annual Christmas tree lighting in Millennium Park. Well, in downtown Pittsburgh, tens of thousands of people came out Saturday evening for Light Up Night, the 64th edition. Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey addressed the crowd gathered in front of the city-county building just before the city's official tree was lit on Grant Street.
And so as we go through this holiday season, remember to do one thing. Be intentional on telling your wife, your children, your partner, whomever you may love. Remind them every day, I love you. And City of Pittsburgh, I love you.
Of course, the Highmark tree, the iconic Highmark tree at Penn and Stanwix, was lit a few hours later, and the big fireworks finale over the Allegheny River sealed the deal at 9:35 last night. KDKA Radio News Time is 8:02. The AccuWeather forecast's coming up.
This holiday season, support Independence Health System's Clarion Hospital Foundation Caring Angel program and help make a meaningful difference for children and families facing medical hardships. Join us for the 2nd annual Caring Angel Basket Event and 50/50 raffle happening November 17th through the 22nd at the Clarion Hospital lobby. Browse beautiful donated baskets, purchase tickets, and help bring hope to those in need. For details, visit independence.health/caringangel.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a mixture of clouds and sunshine as a breeze develops through the day on the way up to a high of 53. Then that breeze winds down for the evening hours, leaving just a clear sky tonight and a low of 31. For tomorrow, any early sun gives way to more clouds and a high of 51. Then rain and drizzle for Tuesday with a high of 57. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
At a time when children are in crisis, the Kids Mental Health Foundation envisions a future where mental health is a vital part of growing up, and support starts with all of us. At home, at school, at practice, everywhere kids are.
If you're at school having a bad day, you just don't want to do anything.
I just get these thoughts like, do better. All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed?
He's just in tears in the huddle. Yeah, I was like, what's wrong? And he's just like, I'm just so frustrated, and I didn't know what to do.
None of my undergraduate studies talked about mental health.
Teachers need tons of help.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation is the leading organization promoting mental health for children in the U.S. and has free tools and information developed by experts.
Having those resources is the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
Check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
The following program is paid for by Coons Quality Market. This is the Coons Cooking Hour. The crew from Coons Market are here. It's the great food you grew up with and the recipes that make Pittsburgh someplace special.
I spent a lot of time this week in the stores and was doing some video work that you'll be seeing on our social media page at Coons Market right through Thanksgiving. And boy, it's a buzz. It's busy. People are just getting ready for the holiday. This is all about, family and food. We've got all sorts of incredible opportunities with that Coons Reward Card, double coupon savings like you only have to see by going to a store near you, meaning Coons Market. Seeing is believing. CoonsMarket.com to find that location. And today, we're talking about sides, and we're talking about turkey. And when you think sides, you think mashed potatoes, obviously, for Thanksgiving. Green bean casserole, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce, mac and cheese, rolls, biscuits, roasted vegetables, and more. But this is what you need to do. If you'd like to have a little cash for the holidays, meaning a $25 gift card, which can go a really long way, all you have to do is to phone in today with one of your favorite sides or turkey tips and tricks, because some lucky listener before the hour is up is going to win themselves a $25 gift card. I was in Hopewell Friday night. I was in Banksville earlier in the week, and I got to tell you, Bellevue store is busy. People getting the jump on it. You know, one of the things that I'm starting to see, Frank, is people are going earlier now, like a week out, to kind of stock up, get in on some savings and some early opportunities while the shelves are stocked at Coons Market, and they will continue to be stocked. But to make sure the certain things that they need, a particular pie or bread or what have you, they can get their hands on and be prepared to kind of ease into the holiday. So people seem to be shopping earlier now for Thanksgiving. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Well, we put our ads out enough, giving people enough time for everyone who wants to stock up. You can stock up. And all the way through Thanksgiving, we run this mostly the same stuff 2 weeks in a row. And that's so people can stock up, in all honesty. And also, you know, people that want to shop at the end, you know, and carrying a turkey all the way through, you know, getting it 2 weeks ahead of time is not exactly the easiest thing to do if you have tight on space. So being able to have that all the way through. And we work really, really, really hard to make sure those shelves are stocked the full way, and that we have the variety that customers are looking for. Easy to grab, easy to get in, get out, and get your shopping done.
You know what? One of the things that I think about is Thanksgiving, and don't ask me why, because my father loved it, and it always went with mashed potatoes more so than the gravy. But if there was one holiday that you can go and get some cream corn that somebody will actually want, Thanksgiving is the holiday. So why is corn such a significant vegetable along with all the other things that you eat, meaning sides, for Thanksgiving? What is the connection to corn and Thanksgiving?
Well, I think it goes back to just tradition, you know, just what people grew up with doing, you know, whether you're in, you know, central United States or wherever, you know, the original meeting, you know, the Pilgrims and Indians, if you go back to those traditions where the corn is involved. We never really had corn growing up. Corn naturally goes great with mashed potatoes, and that's another obvious reason people do it. And just, you know, I hate green beans, so I'm not going to have green beans. I'm going to have corn. I love green beans, but a person says I hate green beans. Well, I got to get them a vegetable. We can't just sit there and eat turkey and stuffing, although that's the best part. We can't just eat that and wait for your vegetable to come in as a pumpkin pie. You know, you got to balance it out.
So this whole thing about stuffing, you know, we were talking earlier, inside or out, why are there more people that actually like it on the inside of the bird as opposed to the outside? Is there really a difference? Because I've had it both ways. I just like stuffing flat out. But is there something really different as opposed from putting the stuffing inside the bird or outside the bird?
Well, there is a difference because the stuffing is doing two things. Number one, the stuffing's getting it's getting all that flavor and juices, marinating it as it's baking. So the juices from the turkey are naturally getting inside the stuffing and giving it that wonderful flavor that only Thanksgiving can bring you. The other thing about that is the stuffing is doing just the opposite. The seasonings in that stuffing is seasoning the inside of the bird. Usually when you're doing a chicken or a turkey with that cavity, you're going to season the inside of the cavity so it gets inside the meat, just not on the outside of the skin. And that's what the stuffing is also aiding in. It'll start to tenderize it a little bit to keep it moist, more moist, where the oven heat's not just hitting the inside and starting to dry it out all through. This what keeps that moisture in there. And it's just a matter of making sure that it's hitting 165 degrees in the center of that stuffing. So you can throw a thermometer right down the center, you know, of the stuffing. Try to hit the middle as much as possible to make sure you're hitting that temperature. If you don't have enough stuffing, that your bird's not big enough to have enough stuffing that your family wants, let's put it that way, baking it on the side is great. Couple of things you can do: you can have, you know, an extra turkey breast along with it and put that over the stuffing to get that flavor, or you can always cook it with some. What Mom used to do was take a couple split chicken and bake that over the stuffing, and then you still got that flavor like it was baked inside. You still get that self-basting from a poultry, you know. And chicken tends to be less of that gamey, wild taste. It's not as strong as a flavor as what turkey is, especially with that dark meat on the turkey. So the chicken breast gives it a little bit more mild flavor, and most of the time you're putting chicken broth in that stuffing anyway. Mm-hmm. So you're putting the chicken with it doesn't make a whole lot of a difference there.
All right, so Frank and I were also talking earlier today because Frank's actually in here very early in the 6 a.m. hour. We record commercials that you'll hear in the next week, and we just chatted up a little bit, get caught up as far as what's happening in the stores. And we were mentioning other things other than turkey, so I thought I'd throw a little challenge out there today. If you're someone who likes something different for Thanksgiving, what is it and why? 866-391-1020. And you know, I have talked to people, Frank, who love Cornish hens as opposed to turkey on Thanksgiving. You get the bird, but it's a little bit different tasting and it's a whole lot smaller. But some people like Cornish hens.
Well, that's kind of cool because then everybody gets their own little turkey, even though it's a chicken.
Exactly.
It looks like little baby chicken. Everyone gets their little chicken on their plate. It's like, this is mine, and you can't have it. The downside is, of course, stuffing. You know, if you like the stuffing and all that, it is going to be made on the side. But like I said, you can always, you know, if you don't like it, you want that flavor of the turkey, you can cook it with a turkey breast. You can cook it with chicken as well on top, or you can just make it as usual and bake it off, because that crust that forms on the outer edge of the casserole dish when you're baking that is wonderful. You know, I always like that little bit of chewiness and crispiness to the outside of those edges, and that forms on top. And when you scoop into it, you mix it all in, so you get a little bit of that mixed in. So, you know, both ways work. It all depends how you're seasoning it.
Now, again, I want to remind you, but they're going fast. We have honeysuckle, white-basted young turkeys, 10 to 24-pound average, with that Coons Reward card, 98 cents a pound. Also, southern yams, which is another side dish staple for many, 45 cents a pound with that Coons Reward card. So, sides and turkey. We want you to call us now, 866-391-1020. Some lucky listener are going to get a $25 gift certificate before the hour is up, but you have to call us. We've already got Chuck and Diane waiting in the wings. We'll get to them in just a couple of moments, but I want to talk pies real quick. So, I know people still love to do traditional things. We've got our baking show coming up. I get all of that stuff, but I was at the Hopewell Bakery, and I'm just doing one pie after another video. I mean, there was cherry, there was apple, there was blueberry. There obviously is a lot of pumpkin. Our 8-inch pumpkin pies, nobody even comes close. But honestly, you would be better off going to Coons Market and buying a pie than putting in all that time and effort, rolling out the dough, putting in the filling, putting it into the oven. Your pies are very reasonable, and there is something for everyone's taste buds, Frank.
Yeah, and it's all what your preference is. You want to focus on the meal? Well, you know, let us provide the pie and your desserts. If you want to focus on other people bringing things with you, of course, you have homemade pies and all pumpkin pies. I mean, nothing, you know, and that's what one of the beauties of being in the store too, the wonderful aromas that are created when you're baking these off, and just those flavors. And if you like to have that in your house, obviously making an apple pie or pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie, which is one of those hidden gems out there, just gives you this wonderful aroma that's in the house. And if you really don't know how to make a pie, but you still want a fresh baked, we sell the Marie Callender's or Mrs. Smith's ones. I recommend that. I like the Marie Callender ones if I'm going to bake one off, mostly on their like custard pies. But the Mrs. Smith's is also a good one where you get that, you didn't have to put it all together, but you're able to bake it off, you know. And we have a great deal with those too. Like this week we have the Marie Callender pies. If you buy 2 of those pies, you get a free 100% free can of Ready Whip.
Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
And you can't beat it.
And by the way, I had a bunch of people ask me. We talked about it last week. I did a couple of videos on it this week. I want to remind everyone, we're just weeks away, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., December 4th and 5th, Beulah Road, Hopewell and McKnight stores, the Cookie Walk. Frank's going to explain to you, if you're hearing about it for the first time, what that is. Then we'll go to break, and then you need to get on the phones quickly. Sides and turkey tips and tricks. 866-391-1020. Explain to them why it's worth to take a walk to Beulah, Hopewell, McKnight. Of course, those 3 stores, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., December 4th and 5th. It's another one of our cookie walks, Frank.
Yeah, at the Cookie Walk, we put a huge variety of cookies out there. And a lot of it's going to be seasonal cookies that you don't usually see. It's things that are exclusive. I personally can't wait for the ginger molasses to come out, and also the red velvet white chip. Both those 2 chips. One of the ones that were born from this Cookie Walk was the salted caramel. Salted caramel cookies really took a hit, really became a hit during Cookie Walks, and now they're an everyday cookie. So they're not special, but they're absolutely delicious. And you pick out your variety. You just point, and we'll pack up the box, and we weigh it at the end, and you get a nice, you know, pick from what size of box you want. And you know what? We do it for 2 days to make sure we can catch as many people.
All right, don't miss it. It's going to be happening December 4th and 5th. Beulah, Hopewell, McKnight Road stores, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The annual cookie walk now, sides and turkey. Come on, let's go. Someone's going to get that gift card. We've got Chuck and Diane just moments away, and we have room for you. Coons Cooking Hour, KDKA. Good morning.
Your source for official traffic information. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $150 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$150 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply. In-app only.
You could think you found your dream home online. The kitchen island looks perfect for your inner chef. The backyard, a paradise for your green thumb. And that extra room, hello walk-in closet. But here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. And this sound, yeah, you're going to be hearing a lot of that. Don't let your dream home turn into a nightmare. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
You know, Frank and I were talking about that legendary name Heinz during the break. And by the way, Heinz Homestyle Gravy, 12-ounce jars, $1.69 right now through the holiday. But this is why Heinz is not standing still. I absolutely love this. Tell him, Frank.
Yeah, they put it in a squeeze bottle. Unfortunately for us, Heinz didn't release it to all retailers. They decided to make it exclusive. But there's our plea to Heinz, stop doing that and let us all sell it.
That's right.
Don't take sides.
Don't take sides unless it's something for Thanksgiving, that sides. But in real life, we want our Heinz gravy in a squeeze bottle. But that's pretty cool. That's a great idea, though.
It's a great idea for leftovers. So you get leftovers, you make a turkey sandwich, put some stuffing and cranberry, you can just squeeze that gravy right over it. But the other thing that I always thought of was like we talk about Bob Evans mashed potatoes and all their different varieties.
Yep.
And the one thing Bob Evans stopped making was gravy. And to be able to make it easy for you at home, a nice squeeze. Everyone can just squeeze on if they want. They can squeeze some Heinz gravy and put that squeeze bottle on top, whatever they want to do.
I'll be putting that on meatloaf. I'll be putting it on fried
There'll be
bologna.
different pretzels in it.
Yeah, man.
Pickles, whatever.
Oh, I do love pickles. Frank said to me one day, now you got to watch your sodium intake. Listen, man, I'm 68 years old. I'm eating my pickles.
Just drink more water.
I love pickles. God, love them. All right, Chuck Shaler. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
Good. Good to hear your voice again.
It is unbelievable how many people listen to the show. I've had so many of my customers stop me and say, what are you going to make this week? I said, well, tune in at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning, and you'll find out.
Well, you have become a hit.
Yeah, but I'm just surprised. I mean, it's not just, it's a mixture of people, younger people, middle-aged people, older people, you know.
Well,
everybody keeps talking about that roast beef pizza. You know, they love that recipe.
Well, those stuffed mushrooms you just sent me a picture of look really good, too.
Well, how did your pears turn out?
Oh, they was fantastic.
That turned out good? Great.
And I even end up getting a couple of little, like the strawberry shortcake.
The little cups.
Yeah, the little cups. And I put some in there and put a little whipped cream on top of them. It was nice. It was nice. It was something different, something I never tried.
Yeah,
I try to challenge myself every once in a while.
Yeah, you got to mix things up.
But today's recipe is stuffed mushrooms. Ooh. Now, I wrote everything down. My wife says, you got to write it down so you don't forget nothing. So here's what I did. It's an easy recipe, and it goes fast. I end up making 2 batches, sometimes 3 batches. But this is for one batch. You need 3/4 cup of seasoned breadcrumbs, a half a cup of shredded mozzarella or Parmesan cheese, 1 small onion finely chopped, almost like minced, and a 1/4 cup of fresh spinach and 2 containers of white mushrooms. And that's enough to completely fill up one of them like 9 by 11 pans, the foil pans. And you chop up the onions, mushrooms, the mushroom stems, not the mushrooms, I'm sorry. Chop up the onions, the mushroom stems, mix in a little bit of butter, olive oil, till it's soft. Then you add a little bit of spinach and saute it for a few minutes. Then once that's done sauteing, you remove it from the heat and add cheese, breadcrumbs, a little bit of olive oil, and you keep stirring until it gets a nice, like sticky consistence. And then you put all your mushrooms in a pan, stuff them, but overstuff them because it cooks down a little bit. And I'd say like 375 for about 25 to 30 minutes. And it's just, that's the first thing it's gone. I could probably make 10 batches and they would disappear. It's easy, it's economical, and you can use many things like sausages, but this is, you don't have to worry if somebody don't like something. There's no meat, you get the seasoning from the breadcrumbs, so you don't have to over flavor or anything. It's really good. It's really easy to make. And if you have any of the mixture left over, then you just put that in the side of the pan and cook that and just spoon it out. It's like the little extra stuffing left over after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I love stuffed mushrooms. They're one of those older recipes that have almost forgotten, it seems like. But you don't see them as often. But those and deviled eggs were always my go-tos to grab. And my mom used to take, and my nana used to take that same, real similar with what you did with the breadcrumb stuffing, and except they would put yellow raisins in them too, the golden raisins, cut them up with the scissors, to mix it in better, and put it. That's what they would use to stuff the artichokes, and that's just delicious that way. It just gives such a great flavor.
Yeah, I made a practice run last night, so I made that, small turkey breast, and yam, just because I do that all on the grill while my wife's doing all the other work inside the house. But so if you don't have any fresh turkey breasts and necks and backs left at Coons this week because I bought them all,
we appreciate that.
I still got them coming.
Hey, no, because I made the turkey breasts and I bought the backs and the necks, so because she'll make wedding soup, so that will be a good. That's a big hit at Thanksgiving. Her wedding soup, I love it. I said, hide some for me, so I got some for the next day. Don't give it all away.
No. Yeah, you give them half, you keep the other half.
So here's the other thing I'm always curious to ask, because we always ate like later in the day, but there are people that actually start eating at noon, which I mean that's okay, but I just could never understand how you could do that. But what time do you usually eat on Thanksgiving, Chuck?
Usually like 2 to 3. And my wife, when she sends the invitation, everybody got to be out by 8 because she works in retail. I got to go to work the next day. It's like we can't have people come over at 6 o'clock and people leave at midnight because sometimes she ends up working, early Friday morning for Black Friday. So, yeah, she's usually happy to see this week be over because she works her tail off. She really does.
Yeah, even if you're not the one cooking the cleanup, if you're the one hosting the cleanup, is the challenge number 2.
Well, that's why I buy them foil pans all the time. You can't beat them for $2 for $1.
No, I get them from the dollar section all the time. That's what that's my go-to because, they're not any different than what you're going to buy off the shelf, and if they're a little bit flimsy, we just put 2 together, 2 for $1. That's a lot better than the name brand.
Yeah, I got to tell you.
Yeah, that's. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, Chuck, busy time of year for you in the truck?
Oh, very busy. Yeah, that's where they try to get us to work 6 days a week. Coming up the next week, they'll ask us.
Let me just say this. Obviously, you're competitors, but the post office and FedEx and UPS, who you work for, that I absolutely love. Just be patient with the men and women who are out there, wheeling through the streets in these incredible trucks or on foot, because no one works harder than you folks this time of year. And I do have a lot of appreciation for you. I just hope that you understand how much you are valued this time of year, UPS.
No, Rob, I do, because that's the only reason one of the reasons why I'm still there is because of my customers. I mean, they really appreciate me. I do what I can. But, I mean, just sometimes it's the kind words or, hey, we got coffee back there. Why don't you get yourself a cup of coffee? Or, here, let me help you with that package, you know. I mean, that it means a lot. It really does. This is my 39th Christmas season at UPS and 38th as a driver.
Wow.
So I've seen a lot of Christmases, and it just keeps getting busier and busier and busier because everybody orders everything online.
They do. Well, listen, keep up the great work. Always good catching up with you, and keep doing what you do. We appreciate you, okay?
All right, thanks, Rob. Thanks, Frank, and you all have a happy Thanksgiving. I enjoy calling the show here every week.
All right, he's really good, man. This guy, he loves to cook, Frank. Loves to cook.
He works to make sure that it's what everyone will enjoy too. You know, it's not just cooking for, you know, and the heck with everybody else. He really keeps it to what people want.
You could do it, but could you see me driving a UPS truck?
No.
There'd be packages falling out the back.
Now, if it was my dad, they'd get there a day early.
Oh, listen. I miss you, Joe, but I had those white knuckle rides with him. Oh, my goodness.
He was fast.
Look at this. Hey, Joe, it's 65. Okay, so I'm a little bit over the speed limit. It's like 85. Back it off. But he just was always in a hurry, but I sure miss him and your mom. Take a short break. Stay with us. 866-391-1020. Diane, we're talking sides and turkey. We want to hear from you. Give us a call next on KDKA.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm with Joe Potocznik, JP Roofing and Siding. Congratulations, Joe. Triple Crown winner from Owens Corning.
Yes, Larry. We are proud to announce that we are recognized for service excellence, product excellence, and MVP based on marketing leadership and customer service.
Call Joe and his team. You'll get the best of the best. Get a free estimate for roof and siding replacements. Call the roofing replacement experts at JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711. Congrats, Joe.
Thank you, Larry.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Just a quick question. Does it encrypt your online traffic the same as NordVPN?
No, but it protects your device. Just pop that CD in and you're good to go.
But it will stop your internet service provider and other snoopers from monitoring you online, right?
Oh, no, not really. It won't stop online snoopers or block annoying ads. In fact, forget what I said at the beginning of this ad. This ad is now about NordVPN. I just realized that an antivirus is only half protection online. So get better online protection with the NordVPN Black Friday deal. It will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. This Black Friday, get NordVPN with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months. Yeah!
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life, your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It is 41 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 8:30. I'm Rob Taylor. 2 people are in custody, 1 still at large, after a report of shots fired and then a vehicle crashing into a home. This incident happened on Pittsburgh's north side Saturday night. It happened around 8:30. That's when the call for shots fired came in. Police tried to pull a vehicle over around the 400 block of Chester Avenue. That vehicle fled from the scene. Vehicle did not stop for police. That vehicle then struck a home in the 1900 block of North Charles Street. 3 people were inside the vehicle. Police caught 2 of them. 1 person, though, still at large. Fire broke out this morning at a business in Turtle Creek, prompting a large emergency response. That fire occurred on Braddock Avenue around 4:30 this morning at an area near the RIDC Industrial Building. Still unclear if anyone was injured in that fire. Pittsburgh's Light Up Night, 64th annual, occurred Saturday evening in downtown. Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey addressing the crowd that was gathered in front of the city-county building just before the city's official tree was lit.
And so as we go through this holiday season, remember to do one thing. Be intentional on telling your wife, your children, your partner, whomever you may love. Remind them every day, I love you. And City of Pittsburgh, I love you.
And if you're counting, 3 trees were lit last night. The tree at the city-county building, of course, the PPG Plaza, and the iconic Highmark tree at Penn and Stanwix. The big fireworks finale over the Allegheny River sealed the deal around 9:30 last night. KDKA Radio News Time is 8:32. The AccuWeather forecast coming up.
The more you practice the art of thankfulness, the more you have to be thankful for, reminded clergyman Norman Vincent Peale. And as Charles Dickens put it, reflect upon your present blessings, of which every man has plenty, not on your past misfortunes, of which all men have some. Happy Thanksgiving from all of us at the Allegheny Institute for Public Policy, where conventional public policy has been challenged since 1995. Make your tax-deductible donation today at AlleghenyInstitute.org. That's AlleghenyInstitute.org.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. 1 daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
The second half of this weekend brings periods of sun and clouds with a developing breeze and a high of 53. Tonight looks clear as that breeze then winds down with a low of 31. Then sunshine gives way to more clouds tomorrow and a high of 51, ahead of a less cool day for Tuesday with rain and drizzle at times, high 57. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following program is paid for by Coons Quality Market. The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, coming up next hour, Just Carlos Greater Pitt Tree Service. We're going to be talking about all the services they have to offer and also keeping your trees happy and healthy. And it was a happy night in that community of Greenfield. He was born, raised, and of course, Michael Bartley, my colleague, got a big award, and as did Cello, his son. And Jay Costa was there. I saw Corey O'Connor was there. So nice round of applause for a big night in Greenfield. One of these special, the crown jewels of Western Pennsylvania and this great region we call home. So Carlos will be here taking your calls next hour. But right now, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving with turkey and side recipes. Give us a call, 866-391-1020. Here's Diane in Valencia. Hey, Diane, how are you?
No, I'm doing great, guys. I think it's an exciting week for all of us, right? We all live for Thursday, and all the prep ahead of time makes it so much more fun. Great show with us. We always brine the turkey. That seems to make it tender and locks in some extra moisture. Stuffing, it's got to be, the vegetables have to be sauteed in butter, and save some extra butter to put on the outside of that turkey to make it nice and crisp and brown. My recipe for today, our favorite side, is the grandma's corn pudding. And truth be told, all my recipes for the week are taped to the refrigerator, so I have them easily accessible and they don't get lost. 5 large eggs, a third cup of melted butter, slightly cold, a quarter cup of white sugar, half a cup of milk. Got to use the whole milk. Half a cup of cornstarch, 1 can of whole kernel corn. That's a tongue twister. Drained. 2 cans of the cream style corn, and Coons is making it easy this week. You got the green giant vegetables, 4 for $5. My other contemplation always is, the night before you're making all this stuff. So we usually go to the deli, get some of those great meats, make up some sandwiches. You've got the Barilla pasta and the De Fratelli pasta sauces. Takes 10 minutes, and helps keep the family satiated while you're trying to get everything put together. And I'll probably do sheet pan pie. I used to do the apple dumplings, but gosh, they're a lot of work, and everybody complained that there wasn't enough filling. I put some chopped up raisins and nuts with cinnamon and sugar, so found out it's just best to layer it on a sheet pan and do it that way, and everybody's a little bit happier.
Oh, great idea with the casserole. You're right, and it's easier on you. But I mean, obviously, it's it seasons out better. You don't have as much of it. You can really balance out that extra fillings.
All right, so here's the thing. I'm going to want everybody to be honest about this. Now, I know your dad, when it came to this, he always just told it the way it was. And you had people complain about the lack of filling. I got to be honest with you. I would never have a Thanksgiving dinner anywhere. I don't care if that bird was burnt beyond recognition and it took me hours to chew it. If it tasted like a rubber tire, I would never tell somebody that it wasn't good. I can't. I just couldn't.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Listen, Diane, if you were my mom or significant other, I'd have been smacking my lips saying this is the best pie I've ever eaten, because people don't realize, and I think about this a lot about my mom, and when I had happier times in my life, and my grandmother, the work that they would put in. My grandmother, literally, we would go stay overnight there Wednesday. My parents would go out to a dance or whatever. She would cook all night long and be up before the crack of dawn cooking all day. And it wasn't always perfect. And when she got sick later in life, it was a struggle, but she wanted to do it. And I still think it's one of the most dearest things that anybody can do for somebody. And it's really the gift of that generosity of passing on those traditions. And, you said you had these recipes taped to your refrigerator. Believe it or not, your kids, grandkids, others are going to say, remember when she used to tape those recipes to the refrigerator? You're doing things that people will never forget, Diane. So just know that you are much appreciated.
No, appreciate you guys having the show and all that you offer and the great quality foods. It helps in making that, basically perfect, not so always perfect, meal. But, Rob, it's funny because as I made the apple dumplings over the years, I'm like, it just didn't seem to be balanced. And for the most part, I like when people give me their honest opinion of something. It gives me that challenge of going forward to try and make it a little bit better. But like you said, there's times that we all try, and especially if I've got too much going on, there's a lot of things that don't turn out. And, just the way that it goes. And like you said, it's usually sometimes those burnt offerings, the burnt pieces that make that lasting comic memory.
Yeah, you always get those funny memories and those funny thoughts. It ends up being something to laugh about more than offending.
My grandmother used to make these chocolate chip cookies, and one time they were just burnt beyond recognition, and they were like huge, and they were not flat. So we nicknamed them boulders, like rocks, okay? And believe it or not, they became such a hit, especially with coffee, that we actually would make her try to replicate it every year, and we would actually wait till the oven started to smoke. So that's when we knew they were ready to come out. They were absolutely delicious. And honestly, I think of all of the great things that my mom and grandmother did for me. And if there is a heaven, and I'm hoping there is, I can't wait to see him again. Listen, thank you very, very much. And have yourself a great day and a happy Thanksgiving, okay?
Have a blessed Thanksgiving, guys. Thank you for all you do.
All right. Now, listen, you bet. Listen, so I've never seen them there. Lonzo gave me something that he wanted me to ask you, and I'm going to ask you because we're family here. Do we do mince pies?
We sell the fillings for them if you want to. If you don't have a scratch recipe, there just isn't a demand for them like there used to be.
Right.
So it's more like almost like a family tradition. People make them at home. We just don't really get much of the demand for them anymore that we used to. Even the raisin pies that we used to make, which is similar, It's that, molasses based. But I want to talk, remember your cookies, you like to get them burned?
Yeah.
The great Mike Lang always shopped at our Coons McKnight store.
The best.
And we used to have to take the cookies. And we did this just for him. We would take his cookies and almost burn them.
Come on.
That's how we wanted them. And so we'd make them to him or just call us ahead or let us know what day you're going to be there. And we would bake him his cookies almost burnt because he liked to dip them in his coffee. And we always did that for him. And he'd be in there 2-3 times a week to pick up these cookies. And to the point where another customer caught on to that. And so he started doing it. So we had 2 different customers that we'd be burning cookies for.
So many people shop, like Joe Rocky, who ran for Allegheny County Chief Exec, loved the guy, met him through Catholic Charities. He worked for his father and just loved the experience and really credited a lot of, him becoming of age and knowing how to handle things and deal with people. And I've always thought that to be fascinating. But all the different people who I knew along the way that I never knew shopped at Coons. And I remember one day your dad said to me, "Why, this really is Pittsburgh's grocery store. If you want to see people for the holidays that you haven't seen in a while, go to a Coons Market, especially whether it's Highwood Street, the Bellevue store, Banksville Road, kind of close to the city. You're going to see all sorts of people. I do it all the time." But your dad said to me one day, I was talking about Pat Rooney, Dan Rooney's wife, who obviously lived longer than Dan, and he said, "Oh yeah, she shops here all the time, McKnight Road store." And I used to go purposely more times than not because I wanted to run into her at McKnight, and I never did. But that's who you are. You are Pittsburgh store.
Well, the people that they think they're going to know them, like they'll shop at different times when it's not as busy. Like Cranberry, Troy Polamalu used to shop there all the time.
But he was so fast you never could catch him. Right?
You couldn't catch him, but you can't miss the hair. You just saw a wind go by.
And he was probably picking up bottles of Head and Shoulders too.
There's lots that we've seen, and I can understand why. I stop at other competitors all the time.
Me too.
And if you haven't been to a Coons, you stop in because there's a lot of disappointment in some of these stores around us. I hate to say that, but there really are.
Let's just be honest. You get the splash. And by the way, Jody's going to be with me tomorrow at 9:00 talking about the state of the grocery industry, and then Frank on Friday when I'm in for Collins going to talk about shopping smart for the holiday season and how with the Coons Reward Card, essential everyday prices, and of course double coupons. Listen, grocery prices are great, and you can get anything you want for the holidays and beyond, right? That's why you need to go local to Coons Market. But the thing that really separates them, okay, meat cutters. You want a special cut of meat. The thing that they have, if not for anything else, explain why what you do in a meat department you can't find in a big box store.
Well, we cut things to what the customers are looking for, in particular in our area. We're not looking at a national centralized plants that are cutting the beef. Fresh as can be, delivered fresh, not a problem that way in quality, but it's not the cuts you're looking for. You want something that's thinner, that's what we can do for you. You don't want 4 pork chops, you want 3, you want 2. We have that. We have the different sizes, and if you see something you don't see. And our variety of beef, our beef cuts that we put out there is second to none out there. It's second to none, and the specs that we put on our suppliers to bring into us on the primal cuts is second to none. We make sure that it gets a wet age on it before it comes into the store. That it's a quality, and if there's a brand that we don't like that doesn't have good specs, that's not going to follow the Coons specs, then we're not going to buy from them. We really lock things down to make sure that we keep things consistency. When you buy a pork chop, when you buy a steak from us, and you come back a week later to buy it again, it's going to be that same cut. It's going to be that same quality. We do not cut the quality. And even if you buy it on a 2-day sale, or a special deal, it's still the same quality. We will not sacrifice quality to hit a price point because you're not going to enjoy the food. Why would you come back? Why would we put something that we're not proud of in front of you just to get a price? We don't do that. We make sure that it's a quality item every day.
Listen, I was so busy at Banksville the other day. I said, okay, I'm going to film some stuff, and I saw all this baked chicken there, okay, in the deli, just mouth-watering good. I said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to buy all that like I did at Beulah Road a while back. I had some people ready to, I think, jump me in the parking lot. But anyway, next thing you know, I got caught up. I'm on 376. I'm in Carnegie, and I forgot my chicken. I was so sad. I may scoot down there later, see if I can grab some of that. All right, we're going to come back. Got some calls waiting in the wings. Michelle, Penn Hills, we're going to get to you. She wants to talk sweet potatoes. Nobody does sweet potatoes better than Coons Market. And remember, 98 cents a pound. Coons Reward Card. Limit one for family. Don't miss it. Honeysuckle, get those turkey and gobble up the savings at Coons Market, a Pittsburgh and holiday tradition.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Lock in amazing fall deals for your new roof with Home Genius Exteriors. Get 50% off roofing materials, plus 0% APR and no payments till 2027. And for a limited time, get free attic insulation. Call Home Genius Exteriors now at 855-U-R-GENIUS to schedule your free roof and attic inspection. That's 855, the letter U, the letter R, Genius. Home Genius Exteriors, the genius choice in roofing. See website for details.
Have you been told there is nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that's not true. As one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has grown to 9 regional centers and helped over 14,000 patients, like Bill from Mars. Bill's neuropathy got so bad he couldn't sleep due to the pain and was losing his balance, causing him to have frequent falls. Then Bill found Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Their effective FDA-approved treatment program greatly improved Bill's neuropathy, and now he's sleeping through the night, can feel his feet again, and has no more pain. Listen to Bill's complete story at marydanston.com. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers help Bill along with thousands of others. Let them help you next. Call 724-940-9000. That's 724-940-9000. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, here we go. Michelle, Penn Hills. Michelle, thanks for holding on. Let's talk about sweet potatoes. Good morning.
Hey, thanks. Good morning. Thanks for having me on. This is sweet potato casserole recipe that was my mother-in-law's, and I like it because it doesn't have all the sweet marshmallows and stuff in it. And I did come to your store this past week and got my yams, my squash, because I haven't been able to find some of the squash, the acorn squash and whatnot. So I bought my squash there and my chocolates for making candy this year. So anyway, you take 5 yams and you boil them with the skin on. You cool them and peel them. You use half a stick of margarine or butter, a cup of brown sugar, and you have a can of pineapple chunks, and just get a handful of cloves, whatever you want. All you do is layer chunks of the potato, pineapple, and the cloves, melt the margarine or butter, add the sugar, and you reserve a little of that pineapple juice and mix that in with it, and you just pour it over and bake 350 degrees for about a half hour or so, and it's delicious. You just have to tell your guests not to eat the cloves, you know.
Yeah, but that's great flavor. A nice flavor of a squash is, something you don't have all the time, of course, but, this is a time of year where that really just hits a spot, especially for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's really good. And I was looking up the difference between yams and sweet potatoes, and they say most stores I don't know. They're sweet potatoes and they're yams. Like, I don't get it.
They're pretty much the same thing. A true sweet potato was always ones we got were lighter in color from New Jersey. I remember just working in produce. That's what we always buy. And you rarely see those anymore. It's really yams. It's just something I call it a yam, you call it a sweet potato. It's really the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. You know?
Yeah, when someone asks me, I usually say the yams look more orange and I like the color. But but you're right. That's usually what you see.
Yeah, because the ones we used to call the sweet potatoes, which we really don't see much anymore, we used to buy them in from New Jersey, and they had the skin itself was a lighter color, the flesh was a little bit lighter, taste probably about the same. I mean, it might be a little more fibrous on the yam side, but other than that, not much different.
You know what? It wouldn't be Thanksgiving without sweet potatoes, though.
You have to have sweet potatoes. And of course we make them unhealthy, but that's what makes them good.
But they are so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like candy.
They're delicious.
Melts in your mouth. So listen, I got to ask you, what time of day do you eat on Thanksgiving?
We usually eat at 6 o'clock. But then I think maybe we should eat sooner so all that food isn't just sitting in your gut all evening.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a good idea.
Yeah, we used to eat around 4. It seemed to... I know why. It was right between the 2 football games. Well, that's what made it so that my mom could get the cooking done, or even when my nana did it. We'd bother her too much, before. But if we're watching football, then they got things done in the kitchen, and we weren't bothering them. My nana would fry some zucchini or some artichokes and hand it so we wouldn't bother them cooking as well or nibbling on anything. I know what it was for. It was to keep us out of the kitchen.
I got to share this with you, Michelle, real quick. So I hadn't been in the home I grew up in. I think I told this to Frank in like 20 years. My mom's been gone a long time, my dad a long time, and this gentleman who was selling it, one day I stopped. He knew who I was. I did a little social media video, and when I went into the house for the first time, I made the right and went into the kitchen, and you almost expect to see your mother like standing over the sink. And I always, saw her, tapped her on the shoulder because she was always cooking or washing dishes or whatever. But man, just all the love and attention, the food, the memories. I just hope whatever generation, including my own kids, I hope they embrace this holiday as much as we all did, right?
Right, for sure. I know my mother-in-law she had a small kitchen, and she was disabled. She'd be rolling around on her rolling chair in the kitchen, in this tiny kitchen, but everything came out hot, and everything was delicious, and she had a lot of people.
God bless her.
Sometimes I'd rather work in a small kitchen than a large because everything's within hand distance.
That's true, too.
Grab. As long as you keep everyone else out.
All right. Listen, appreciate you, Michelle. Thank you very much, okay?
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
All right. Yeah, man, I sure do miss those days. Good stuff. And it was always time to get out the leaf for the dining room table to expand.
Yeah, I was the one who had to pull it out of the basement and put that in there.
And the blue...
And the extra chairs.
And the spotted blue and white roaster that was always behind the furnace down there. Go get that. We got to put the turkey in it. All right, stay with us. Frank and I coming back to draw this week's winner next.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
It's a time of year where healthcare choices are made by many. What happens next? Lead physician Dr. Natalie Gentili.
And there's big question marks. The big one being, how are they going to afford health insurance coverage in 2026? In the end, paying cash or self-paying for a lot of their healthcare is far more affordable.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Hello, this is Sarah Botkin, president of Botkin Family Wealth Management. It's been years since my dad Les, brother Lester, and I resigned from a Wall Street brokerage to open our family-owned investment firm. I felt energized about our new venture, but uncertain about our clients' reactions. Would they follow us or stay with a big Wall Street name? We were thrilled when the reaction was one of congratulation, and we've experienced tremendous growth since we opened our doors in 2015. People seek us out because they don't want to be lost in the shuffle of a huge company. Dad and I are certified financial planners, and Lester is a chartered financial analyst. We deliver big resources in a personalized environment where you're important to all of us. Firms turn over all the time. Advisors turn over. We don't. We're headquartered in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. We live here, and we work here in the building that we bought together. It's our family helping your family. Find out more at botkinfamilywealth.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company. Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
You know, here's the other thing, too. My whole life, I think of being preheated at 350 degrees. We're going to draw this week's winner. We got a couple of extra minutes. We'll share some Thanksgiving memories with you. But first, let's get to the winner. Go ahead, Frank.
This week's winner is Michelle in Penn Hills.
Congratulations, Michelle. But, you know, how before microwaves and air fryers and crock pots and all that stuff, how in the world did they honestly cook all that stuff and get it out on the table when it was still hot? Timing. It was just like from the beans to the mashed potatoes. The gravy had to be hot. The bread was hot. The butter was, melting on the bread. And the turkey came out with the steam rising off of it. Frank, I mean, think about the ability of some of these people back in the day to prepare these meals. And listen, we had like 20 people at Thanksgiving for years. How did they do that?
It's like a coordinated dance in your head when you figure out when you make the meal, so you know when things are done. And it's just comes to you naturally whenever you're cooking or baking all the time. And you just know, well, the stuffing's going to take this, it's going to take half an hour. So while that's in, I'll get everything prepped, we'll cut it, put together, throw it in the oven. While it's baking, I can get this done. I know that the turkey's going to take 5 to 6 hours. So I'm going to make sure that at 10 a.m. my turkey goes in. That's all prepped. That's out of the way. I had the stuffing that's going in. Now when the stuffing's baking, I can get the little things like make sure the bread's cut, sliced, cover that up. Make sure they had the gravy that's going to be in, making sure that's done. So while that's baking, there's other things you're doing in prep and keeping ahead the whole time. And then things that you can also do ahead of time. You do. So, you're going to be making stuffing. Well, I'm going to need celery. I'm going to need onion. I'm going to cut celery and onion the day before. And that's just going to, now when I go to put it together, it's dump it all in, pre-measure your chicken broth, add your butter. If you're doing sausage, add and that, put it into the, put your seasoning together and put it in the oven. So you got 5 minutes instead of 15 minutes of all the cutting and chopping and then cleaning everything up to get to the next item. Sweet potatoes, everything. You can always prep the things you can ahead of time so that whenever you go to just put them together, then put them in the oven, and you just play with that timing in your head so it all comes out perfect. It's sounds more complicated, but when you're used to doing it all the time, anyone in a restaurant could know exactly what I'm talking about. And when you're used to doing it all the time, it makes it easy.
So,
again, keeping people out of your way in the kitchen too.
Go sit down. You're in my way.
Unless it's someone like you, like my wife, we can work in the kitchen just fine. It's kind of like a fine machine. She's watching me here, and she knows I'm going to turn to the fridge, so she's gone the other side. Now she's at this, and it's like you just watch us move around like parts, and it's like you don't even hit each other. I know, because we know you can kind of get a sense of where someone is and move around them.
All right, so get out and shop at Coons today. All week we got great savings. Nobody does it better. Locally owned, independently operated, third generation of that family. And more importantly, we're here for your family. But I got to admit, I love this business so much. Even on my day off, I'm in these stores. What is it about this business that brings out the best in all of us? There's something about people in a grocery store any time of the year. But right now, Frank, heading into Thanksgiving, it's really a joyful thing to watch.
It's the people. Usually when you're get-togethers are all usually centralized around food. Whatever the meal is, wherever you're cooking, whether you're summer, you're going outside, inside, and this time of year, it's all about the food. It brings everyone together because everybody enjoys a nice meal, and you can talk and this and that, and that's what really brings together, and Thanksgiving really highlights that and brings us back down to earth that this is what we should be doing.
Okay, Dr. Wong, by the way, sir, that's December 4th and 5th, Beulah McKnight, and also Hopewell, the cookie walk. Don't you dare miss it. He's curious about it. People are curious about it. We got everything you need. Don't forget the cafe, 600 varieties of your favorite beer, big game, lots of football, Thanksgiving Day today, all sorts of incredible things, and even a great wine selection, too, to top off that Thanksgiving table. It's a Pittsburgh and holiday tradition. Frank, thanks. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
News at 9, then Just Carlos. We're going to be talking about all the things they do at Greater Pitt Tree Service next.
The preceding program was paid for by Coons Quality Market.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. from the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 42 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 9 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A fire broke out at a business in Turtle Creek this morning, which prompted a large emergency response. That fire occurred on Braddock Avenue around 4:30 this morning at a building that houses EOS Energy Enterprises. Company says no employees were injured. Still unclear on exactly the cause of the fire. That fire under investigation this morning. 2 people are in custody, another person on the run following reports of shots fired and then a vehicle crashing into a home. That incident happened Saturday night on the north side. Police were initially called to the 400 block of Chester Avenue around 8:30 Saturday night for a report of shots fired. Police tried to pull a vehicle over that was fleeing from the scene, but the vehicle didn't stop, according to police. Well, that vehicle then struck a home in the 1900 block of North Charles Street. 3 people were inside the vehicle. All of them ran after the crash. Police caught 2 of them, one still at large. Well, tens of thousands of people were downtown Pittsburgh Saturday evening for the 64th annual Light Up Night festivities. And just before the tree at the City County building on Grant Street was lit, Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey addressing the crowd.
And so as we go through this holiday season, remember to do one thing. Be intentional on telling your wife, your children, your partner, whomever you may love. Remind them every day, I love you. And City of Pittsburgh, I love you.
Also, the tree at PPG Plaza lit, and the iconic Highmark tree at Penn and Stanwix lit around 7 o'clock. The big fireworks finale over the Allegheny River, 9:30 last night. KDK Radio News time is 9:03. Time to visit BLOCS.org today. Change a student's life and get 90% back on your PA taxes. The AccuWeather forecast on a Sunday, a Steelers Sunday, coming up.
Calling all grades 9 through 12 students. Are you ready to think big, act bold, invest smart? Junior Achievement Stock Market Challenge presented by Citizens returns December 11th and 12th at Stage AE in Pittsburgh. Teams of 3 to 4 will compete head-to-head in a simulated stock market, making fast decisions, responding to real-world trends. No experience required. Win cash prizes, claim your trophy, and maybe represent Western Pennsylvania at the national level. Teachers, mentors, volunteers, your role matters too. Go to jawesternpa.org and secure your spot today.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-608-0955. 800-608-0955. 800-608-0955.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a mixture of clouds and sunshine as a breeze develops through the day on the way up to a high of 53. Then that breeze winds down for the evening hours, leaving just a clear sky tonight and a low of 31. For tomorrow, any early sun gives way to more clouds and a high of 51. Then rain and drizzle for Tuesday with a high of 57. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Greater Pitt Tree Service. Information on the program is intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
These are the people, the movers and shakers, the businesses, the people you know in your community who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, we had all the excitement yesterday. WPIL championship action, that thriller 5A matchup. Peters Township coming back from a 19-point deficit to beat Pine Richland. Avonworth wins again. They were victorious over Imani Christian. Seton LaSalle victorious, beating Steel Valley. And then the Clareton Bears, of that great tradition, won the opener. But there was some other action this weekend, including Central Catholic. They were winners. State College, Harrisburg next. They're in the PIAA. Our man Chilo, of course, the son of Carlos from Greater Pitt Tree Service. But anytime you put a name like O'Connor, Costa, and throw in that community of Greenfield, and you put them all together on one night, you know it's going to be a big night. Even my man, my friend, my colleague, Michael Bartley getting an award last night. But as I told the audience about a half hour ago, Carlos, your young son got a nice award as well. So great being back in Greenfield last night. You and your lovely bride. Must have been a very satisfying evening. Tell me about it.
Yes, it was great. It was our yearly annual Greenfield Community Awards dinner. Greenfield Organization Against Drugs, great organization that's helping out in the community, helping our youth navigate through, everything these kids go through in today's world. And it's just a great organization. And my son got an award for youth recognition. He's doing the right thing out there in the community, helping. He's doing good in school. He's active in sports. And this is what you need to get your kids involved in, get them out there, keep them busy. And then you get, the reward is, what happened with Cello last night. He went up, gave a great speech and great company. I mean, it's old legends of Greenfield and the who's who of the area in Pittsburgh. And Greenfield's just rich in tradition, and so many people come out of there, mayors, NFL coaches, leaders in the community. And I'm just proud to have grown up there and be a part of it all.
Well, you are Pittsburgh, that's for sure. So what we're going to do today, going to give you a chance to get any of your tree-related questions answered. Number to dial is 866-391-1020. Now that the leaves are about gone, you do that little thing that is walking around the perimeter. You start noticing branches, roots maybe being exposed from the ground. Maybe the bark just doesn't look right. The trunk seems a little bit less, not as bright as it once was, heading into the summer and spring months. So whatever is on your mind, we want to hear from you. And obviously, getting into winter, certain things that you want to get done. We've been talking about oak tree pruning. Many of you are out there raking up the leaves, so you're spending more time in the yard than maybe you have in a while. And if you have any question, now's the chance to get it answered in real time. Give us a call, 866-391-1020. All of our lines are open, but we also are going to take time today to talk about how you can keep your trees healthier with their plant and tree service. We'll explain that to you. Troy Lampenfeld, their certified arborist. But I want to take a little bit of time to talk about what they do on a regular basis at Greater Pitt Tree Service. No rehearsal here. I'm going to throw out some topics and he'll fill in the blanks. But if you want to reach their office during the hour, you simply dial 412-884-TREE, 412-884-TREE, 8733. Leave your information and they will get back to you. So let's begin with tree removal. Talk about why you are really good at that, and that is a big ticket item. Carlos, go ahead.
Yes, I mean, that's kind of our bread and butter right now because of the age of the trees in our area, the age of the homes. A lot of the large mature trees are kind of the shelf life of a yard tree, where they're a little bit more problematic than beneficial. So, I mean, we've invested in so much equipment to come out there and be safe and efficient on your property, training the crew, everything we can do to come out and serve you the best we can. And, man, we did a big job in Mount Lebanon the beginning of the week. And I got to tell you, it's one of the bigger trees that we've taken down. And it was just a flawless execution of, what we're capable of and how good our crew is and the equipment. We had 2 bucket trucks, a tracked aerial lift, a large crane on site. chippers, log trucks, mini skid steers, stump grinders, just everything out there for a day and a half to do this massive oak removal that had a large split in it that was, on a big corner. It was hazardous to the home. It was hazardous to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, and that's where we come in. They gave us a call, and we went out there and confirmed what they had thought about the tree and got them on the board, got them scheduled, showed up on time. That's everything we do from start to finish. I just have a great team. From the time you call, Stephanie, our office manager, she gets more compliments than anybody right now. She's just running on all cylinders. She gets right back to you. She gives you all the information, sends you our insurance, gets you scheduled with a salesman in your area. Depending on what type of service you're looking for, it kind of dictates who we're going to send out there. I myself like going out on as many of the KDKA calls as I can to meet the listeners, because I just love being out there in the community and talking to these residents, these longtime residents of Pittsburgh, some new residents, and that's really what I enjoy about this company right now, just the relationships that I'm able to cultivate, the new relationships I'm able to secure out there, and just being out in the community. I love it. I couldn't be happier right now with how everything's going.
It's funny, but I was in Pittsburgh a little bit more than normal this week, other than being on the radio, and I was headed out 51, and I saw one of your trucks, and I got all excited. Then I saw another one of your trucks, and then I saw another one of your trucks. So really, Pittsburgh is your territory, is it not?
Yes, we chart all of our calls, and a lot of times Google ranks number one, because even if you saw our billboard or heard us today on the radio, sometimes people still Google it. But Google, radio, the calls from KDKA that we get, and our third biggest call is, we saw one of your trucks out there.
Yeah.
They're bright green, they're all wrapped, they're all visible. And Pittsburgh's a small, big city, or a big, small city, however you want to say it. And our trucks are buzzing around, most of the daylight hours, 5 days a week. And even on weekends, our salesmen are out there, and the salesmen get to take their sales truck home. So they're out there on weekends driving around doing their, personal errands. So our trucks are always buzzing around Pittsburgh. And we love hearing that, hey, we saw one of your trucks. And it kind of makes us look a little bigger than we are, but we are a good-sized company.
Well, I went around the block one time just to see if I could catch one of your drivers, or maybe you, and that truck was already on the road. So you are busy. And that's a fact. I'm telling you, I was heading to my dentist out 51. All right, so stump removal, grinding down or physically removing stumps left from cut-down trees. I wish more people would spend a little bit more to do this, because 9 times out of 10, I've left them, busted up lawnmower blades. I've tripped, done all sorts of crazy things, dog leashes getting wrapped around that trunk. If you can get rid of it, meaning that stump, what's left behind of the trunk. So talk about stump removal and why it's so essential. And really, with the equipment today, it's a whole lot easier than people realize. Go ahead.
Yes, and we get all the old school Pittsburgh stories. Pittsburgh's great. You get a story from everybody, and all the old timers had somehow that they would get the stumps out of the yard. They'd drill holes and put copper tubing in there, or they'd pour some kind of solvent in there. And I mean, even if it did work, it was a very, very slow process. So what we do is we come in and with the large stump grinder, and it's all kind of based on access where it's at on the property, to make sure we can get this machine to it. But I'm telling you, in a half hour, an hour, that thing's gone. There's no trace of it. We haul out all the grindings. We groom out the area. We leave you a nice, groomed out area that comes spring or sometime in the fall, you could put topsoil down and plant grass. And guess what? It looks like it was never there. So that's the beauty of it. And the most of the stumps we grind out are usually in a grass area. Sometimes if a tree's in a wooded area or a tree line, and it's no point in spending the money to grind it out unless you really want to. I mean, sometimes I'll talk people out, like, you don't need to spend the money on that. Leave it back there. It's not going to get in the way. But if it's in a grass area and you're tired of mowing the lawn around it and you just want it out of there, that's where we come in. We come out there with the machinery. The crew comes out there, grinds it out, rakes the yard up. I mean, our goal is to make it look like it was never there.
one reason you want to call them for no other reason, and I've been on both sides of this, the grinder to get rid of all of the wood chips that are left behind because of branches and everything else, it's so no fuss, no muss. But if you are even able to get a tree down that looks a whole lot smaller when it's up in the air than it does on the ground, you still have to do all of that cleanup and hauling branches and things of this nature. Most people have no place to take this stuff to. So that is another reason why you want to give them a call. 412-884-TREE, 412-884-TREE. Tree and Plant Healthcare, keeping your trees healthy and the services they offer. He's Carlos. He's one of your own. He's from Pittsburgh, grew up in Greenfield, and they're there to service you throughout the week. And if you want to call them directly again, 412-884-TREE, 8733, or get a question answered right now, whatever's on your mind. Carlos is waiting to talk to you at 866-391-1020. We'll be back.
Your source for the AccuWeather forecast. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer, an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
Okay, listen, the Bocce House of Pittsburgh, it is officially open. Find the Bocce House RIDC Park on Alpha Drive. Memberships, a luxury cigar lounge, league play for all skill levels. Do this, grab some friends, enjoy delicious food, pour yourself a drink at the self-pour bar system. The fun is in your hands. The Bocce House of Pittsburgh in Fox Chapel, where great food, great drinks, and even better company meet on that bocce court. Visit theboccehouse.com for details.
Well, folks, the holidays are here in the Winter Wonderland. Weiner Wellness Weekend is December 5th and 6th with workshops from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, featuring the top holistic practitioners and experts in the industry. A delicious, healthy lunch will be provided from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And, of course, lots of samples, healthy treats, and the Black Friday deep discounts start November 24th. All of this at the World of Wellness, 2419 Baldrick Road, Pittsburgh. That's 2419 Baldrick Road, Pittsburgh.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, back with Carlos, Greater Pitt Tree Service, 412-884-TREE, 412, of course, 8733. Anything on your mind in the way of trees, we would love to hear from you. We're talking about keeping your trees happy and healthy. Don't forget to ask them about their plant health care, and Troy Lampenfelt, their certified arborist. If you want to get into the loop, when you call today, mention that, or just say, hey, give me a call, leave your first and last name and a working number. They can reach you during business hours. We're also talking about some of the things that they do on a regular basis. So let me ask you this before I get to my next question about tree trimming and pruning. There are certain trees that are heavy when it comes to leaves, and the older you get, the more difficult it is, especially these oak trees that seem to just shed leaves beyond belief. Can you do something throughout the year to make sure that there isn't so much work at the end of the year? Or if you decide to get oak trees, you just got to get used to the fact that you're going to have buckets and buckets of leaves this time of year? Carlos.
Yes, the oak trees, I tell people, they're probably the highest maintenance tree you can have on your property. They're dropping leaves for about 3 or 4 months through the winter. They're real stingy how they drop them. They actually have a mechanism where they kind of prune themselves, so they detach their dead a lot quicker than other trees. So you got a big oak tree in your yard, and I'm sure you're used to playing pickup sticks, and then the acorns that come off of them. So year round, you're picking up something off of that oak tree, and listen, they're beautiful trees, and as long as they're healthy and you could keep up on the maintenance, get us out there. We could do some maintenance or structural pruning on them. We have an application with our plant healthcare division, which is root collar excavation. If you have a large tree and it's still standing, that usually means your soil's pretty firm. A lot of times these large trees come down because you might have loose soil, and then we get these big storms and the wind kind of wins that battle and lays the tree down. But if you're looking out there now and you still have a large oak tree on your property, we have a great application through our plant healthcare division. It's called a root collar excavation. And Troy Lampenfeld, our ISA certified arborist, rock star, is out there performing these applications. He comes out with a big, large compressor, and it's called an air spade, and he blows off all that compacted and hard soil around the tree, exposes the root system, gets it a lot more oxygen. He cuts out any any strangling roots at the bottom that are kind of preventing the tree from more or less breathing. So he gets in there, blows out the whole area around the tree, and then we apply like a fresh application of mulch down there that has a lot of nutrients in it. So it's so beneficial to the tree, because if your soil's really hard and compacted, when it's raining, it's hard for it to seep through the ground. It's almost like when you see out in the desert when it rains, the water never really seeps through that hard ground. And it's kind of the same concept here in your yard. So once we get all that compacted soil out of there, the tree just gets so much more rainwater. It's able to process the water through its root system a lot easier and transfer it up through the trunk and into the canopy of the tree.
All right, so I mentioned earlier people walking around their yard, going to be in the 50s the next couple of days, so a great time to get your yard work done, get the house decorated for the holidays. Hazardous tree removal assessments, this is what you do better than anyone else, especially being able to navigate some of these neighborhood communities where the houses are close together. I have to ask you, what should be some of the things people should be looking for? Maybe they're heading outside today with a cup of coffee, do a little once around their house to say, hey, that's a problem right there. What should they be looking for, especially with larger trees, about possible hazardous situations to where they need to pick up the phone and call you sooner than later?
Yes, I mean, it could be as obvious as this large oak tree we did out in Mount Lebanon in the beginning of the week. I mean, it just had a split from about 30 feet up down to the ground where you could stick your hand in there. And, you don't have to be an arborist or a rocket scientist to understand, like, this large, massive tree has this huge cavity, and it's kind of a bad mathematical equation, and it's time to get it out of there. So that one's like, they say Mr. Obvious, he could have figured that one out. But it could be as subtle as something as, maybe you see like a mushroom growing, maybe a little bit of a distance from the base of the tree, and you don't really think anything about it. But that mushroom could be growing off a rotted or decayed root system that kind of is underground. As the root systems go underground as far as the drip line of the canopy of the tree. So you're looking at maybe this little mushroom growing in your yard, and it's 20 or 30 feet away from the base of the tree, and you don't think anything of it. But that's where we come in. Troy comes in there and he says, hey, this looks like a sign of maybe oak wilt disease or root rot, and let's take a better look at it and see what we can do here. Maybe it's in the early stages where we have an application through our plant healthcare division where we could kind of defend against it and get the tree healthy again. Or maybe it's just, you overlooked it for so long that the tree, there's really nothing we can do to bring it back. And, your home's there, which is your main investment. You got your family in there. And listen, might be time to get that large oak tree or large tree out of there and plant something new. Start over with something that you could watch grow. So there's so many signs. You could look up into the canopy, and a lot of times if the tips of the canopy, the upper crowns are kind of in bad shape or look brittle, that's a really bad sign for any tree. A lot of times if you see dead underneath in the lower canopy, sometimes it's just lack of sunlight penetrating that thick upper canopy, and dead at the lower branches, especially on an oak tree, is kind of normal if it's, not infested with it. So there's so many things out there that I've learned over the last 32 years being out there in the field. An education costs you money one way or another. I learned it, being out there and trial and error and figuring things out. And, Troy, our ISA certified arborist, he went to college for this. So it's a whole science behind it that he now has taken over our plant healthcare division. And he comes out there and, if something's wrong with a tree, plant, or bush on your property, he's going to figure it out. He's going to steer you in the right direction. And guess what? If everything's healthy and you don't need anything, we're good. Thank you for your time, and keep in touch, and we'll come out maybe next year. And, we always we're in it for the long haul. We like the relationship of the whole business aspect of this. So sometimes we go out to your property and you say, I wasn't sure if I needed anything, and we kind of confirm that. Or we say, hey, look, you need this, that, and the other thing. Let's sign you up for a yearly maintenance plan with our plant healthcare division. Let's get our crew in here and get this dead branch out of here. And so it all starts with that phone call, getting us out there, and that's where we kind of take over from there.
Only because I'm curious now, what caused that tree in Mount Lebanon to have that crack in the middle? Any idea? Just age, lightning?
Yeah, I think it was age and stress. It didn't look like a lightning strike. Sometimes you see the lightning strike, far up in the upper part of the tree, and lightning goes into something and then has to exit. So you could usually see like the initial strike up in the tree, and then where it exited the tree is kind of like an open wound. This was just a large stress crack that got larger over time and exposed itself, and now the rain's kind of seeping in there, and dirt collects, and it starts rotting itself out from the inside. And it was an older house in Mount Lebanon, although they put on a beautiful addition. It was a great house. And there might even have been a house in a different spot of the property. I was trying to figure it all out because this was a planted tree, and oak trees grow really slow. So I would say the size of this oak tree that we did, it's on our Facebook page. It's just massive. I would say the tree was anywhere from 60 to 100 years old. So I think it was just the age of the tree, and it was time to get it out of there. And the homeowner was proactive, and that's what we like. We like coming out there and confirming what they thought. And, hey, we love this tree. It was a big corner house, and it was kind of their signature tree, and they were an older couple, but they were smart. They were like, look, it's time to get it out of here. I don't want anybody walking by, get hit with a branch or the tree come down. So, yeah, that's the people we like, the educated customer that understands what's going on their property. And if you don't, that's our job. We come out there and inform you about everything.
All right, Carlos is here until 10 o'clock. If you have any questions about your trees or things you need to know, you need to give us a call, 866-391-1020, 866-391-1020. And if you want to just cut to the chase and give them a call, 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. Back with two more segments with Carlos from Greater Pitt Tree Service on a Sunday morning at KDKA. Good morning.
At AHN, we see you juggling 100 things at once. That's why we made it easier to book with the doctors you need. With AHN online scheduling, you can book with your primary care provider or get time with a specialist. Visit ahn.org/schedule, answer a couple of simple questions, and search for providers, locations, and times that work best for you. Easy online scheduling. Because at AHN, we see you.
Hey folks, Marty here. Beat the crowd. Shop Black Friday now at Levin Furniture and Mattress. My friend Robert Levin and his team are the lowest prices of the year on furniture and mattresses. Incredible hot buys. Plus, take 25% off store-wide. Leave your wallet at home. Get 5-year special financing on qualifying purchases of $24.99 or more. No money down, plus guaranteed low prices on top mattress brands. Black Friday now at Levin Furniture and Mattress.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times. But when you need us, we are here for you, and we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 42 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 9:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A fire broke out at a business in Turtle Creek this morning, prompting a large emergency response. That fire occurred on Braddock Avenue around 4:30 this morning at a building housing EOS Energy Enterprises. Company says no employees were injured. Cause of the fire still under investigation. Allegheny County Fire Marshal investigating a house fire that occurred in Oakmont. That fire broke out on Saturday morning at a home on California Avenue. Took multiple agencies about an hour to get that fire under control. The home suffered extensive damage. Well, tens of thousands of people came downtown on Saturday evening for the 64th annual Light Up Night festivities. Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey addressing the crowd that was gathered in front of the City County building just before the tree was lit on Grant Street.
And so as we go through this holiday season, remember to do one thing. Be intentional on telling your wife, your children, your partner, whomever you may love. Remind them every day, I love you. And City of Pittsburgh, I love you.
Also, the PPG Plaza tree and the Highmark tree at Penn and Stanwix, they were lit as well. The big fireworks finale at 9:30 last night. KDK Radio News Time is 9:31. Next updates at 10. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDKA.
Have you been diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer? You may qualify for a clinical trial studying an investigational therapy designed to activate your immune system to fight cancer throughout the body. If your prostate cancer has spread and you've received prior hormone therapy, you may be eligible. Take the next step in your fight. Visit Legion100trial.com to learn more or call 1-888-636-5344. That's Legion100trial.com or 1-888-636-5344.
Americans spend $66 billion on weight loss products and services each year. And you know what? Right here in our hometown, Pittsburgh's very own board-certified and licensed hypnotherapist Dan Bitchoff has helped thousands of people do just that. Lose weight, keep it off. In fact, he's been helping people take back control of their lives for more than 20 years here in Pittsburgh at the PA Hypnosis Center. You have an opportunity to do the same. Are you battling anxiety? So many people are. He can help you with that. If you want to quit smoking, Dan Bitchoff is the call you should make at the PA Hypnosis Center today. Schedule your pre-consultation at 724-934-8446, 724-934-8446. Dan can help you reach your goal with a 98% success guarantee. 724-934-8446. Call now.
Ouch! Checked from behind. Man, that's gotta hurt.
I'd hire Morgan & Morgan if I were them.
What?
Yeah, Dan, America's largest injury law firm. They serve up justice, ice, cold, law. Know what I mean?
I guess.
Their gloves come off when they fight for you.
Okay.
I'm talking a settlement slap shot.
Shouldn't we be talking about the game?
Yeah, Dan. Morgan & Morgan. Proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Offices Pittsburgh.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
The second half of this weekend brings periods of sun and clouds with a developing breeze and a high of 53. Tonight looks clear as that breeze then winds down with a low of 31. Then sunshine gives way to more clouds tomorrow and a high of 51, ahead of a less cool day for Tuesday with rain and drizzle at times, high 57. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Greater Pitt Tree Service.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, back with Carlos, Greater Pitt Tree Service. Number to dial to join us on the show today with any of your tree-related questions, and we have all of our lines available. Only 2 more segments left, so if you want to get in here and get those questions answered, now's the time to call. It's 866-391-1020, 866-391-1020, or you can call them directly at 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. So let me ask you, say somebody buys an acre of ground and they want to build a house, but there's a bunch of trees on it that they just don't want. Do you clear land for people, Carlos?
Yes, we clear single lots and usually up to an acre or 2, and then anything larger after that we kind of punt to a bigger land clearing company that we have a lot of synergy with. We give them our larger jobs, land clearing specialists, great owners, couple of Pittsburgh guys like me. And, we don't have the large enough equipment to be effective and efficient out there on large land clears, but we can clear up to 1 to 3 acres. Sometimes we like doing those type of jobs in the winter when we get slower with the residential work. A lot of times the ground's frozen in these wooded areas. It's easier to get equipment in and out of. So it's definitely a job we'll come out and look at. And if I think I can handle it and give you a good price point with my company, I'll take on the project. And if it's too large, we, introduce you to land clearing specialists and give them the job.
All right, Carlos is here. Now, listen, I'm learning each and every week that you drop by different aspects of what you do. And I don't know if you do this or not, but it came up in a conversation. It's called tree cabling, which is the installation of high-strength steel and synthetic cables between large branches to provide supplemental support and reduce the risk of breakage. Any thoughts on that, or is that something you do at Greater Pitt?
Yes, that's a popular job for us, and it's become a lot more popular because of the age and size of these trees on people's property. And I mean, Troy, he did so much research on all the different products that are out there. You can do different applications. You could drill into the tree and put large lag bolts and steel cable to hold one side of the tree to the other. If you have a large tree in it, then it keeps growing away from itself, as the tree goes up the upper canopy, and you're worried about, gravity and physics taking over. And that's where we come in. And we've been doing a lot lately. We decided to go with a product that's more like a band, where we're not drilling into the tree. We kind of put it around the one side and then run it to the other side and keep it taut. And what this product does, it allows the tree to kind of grow with it but still support it. And it's not as evasive as drilling into the tree, which back in the day, that seemed to be the more popular choice to go by. And, we come out and assess it. There's sometimes, we look at the tree and we just think I don't know, we don't want you to waste your money on this. And we'll be very transparent with the customer and say, look, we'll do it, but we can't, guarantee that it's never going to split away. It definitely helps, but a lot of times these larger trees that are just so grow so far away from itself in the upper canopy, it's kind of like a toothpick in a dam scenario where, it's just maybe it's time to do something like a crown reduction and get that upper weight off of it, and then maybe cable it. So there's so many different case by case, and when Troy comes out and assesses it, he's going to steer you in the right direction. And then our crew comes out. It's very involved. We have to be able to navigate up into the tree where we're going to install this cabling system. So sometimes if it's a landlocked tree in your yard, we got to put the climbers up in there, or if it's somewhere we can get to with our tracked aerial lift, our spider lift, or our bucket truck, or even we could hoist a couple climbers up in the canopy of the tree with our crane. So there's a little bit of a cost involved in it, but like if you really like this tree and you're concerned about it, and we come out there and we go over it with you, and then we'll come out there and install it, and people are very happy with it. We get a lot of positive feedback from what we're doing out there.
All right, listen, I grew up in an era where everybody carried penknives, and I would not suggest that anybody do this, but I had really a cool thing happen not too long ago. You know, many years ago as a kid, kind of carved my initials and a very significant other at that time, kind of like puppy love, teenage love, and I was in that community, and I happened to went to that tree, and it was still in that tree. When you think about how long these trees live, you know, even that oak tree, and you were talking about Mount Lebanon, it's kind of staggering how they really withstand so much the elements season after season, storm incidents, the weather-related issues, droughts, and they just find a way. You know, new buildings being built around them, communities getting larger, all of the things that kind of pollute the air, whether it's, you know, exhaust or whatever the case may be. Trees really do withstand the test of time. They have an incredible legacy and shelf life, do they not?
Yeah, it's impressive that a lot of these trees, you know, are still there after these violent storms we've had over the last 4 or 5 years. And it all kind of depends on what's around the tree. Is there any buffer around it? Are there other trees that act as a windbreak, you know? And then over time, the tree kind of gets used to how the wind hits it. So maybe your neighbor just, like we did, we just took down that massive oak tree in Mount Lebanon. Now, that could have an impact on other people's property and their trees, because now the neighboring trees might not be used to the new windbreak that they're getting. Or if we're on your property and you have multiple trees, and I go over it, we're so thorough out there, and we go over it with the customer and say, hey, you know, yeah, we got to get this dead tree out of here, or you want this tree out of here, but we want to kind of, you know, disclose it to you that it might have a negative impact on the rest of the trees on the property. So really think about what you want to do out there, and we kind of give them all the information that we've learned over the years to make sure that we could serve them as best we can, because you don't want somebody to say, hey, yeah, you cut down my tree, but the next storm I lost 4 or 5 other trees, and why didn't you tell me this? So we're very thorough out there, and we want to make sure that we keep you on board as a client. You know, we like customers, but we love clients, because clients are repeat relationships that will be out there on your property again at some point.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you, this is one that many people think would be in the same category, but it's very different. So we're talking about storm-related issues, which you handle, and we were talking about hazardous issues, which you handle as well. But they are different. Hazardous is something, yeah, you got to get taken care of, but storm-related could already be damaged not just to the tree, but property that you need to get removed, larger limbs, branches, whatever, trunk. This is a very different aspect of what you do. This is the immediacy. This is the call to action. Talk about storm damage removal and cleanup, and why this is a big part of your business. And I want people to remember this as we move into the winter season. And sometimes you have a massive snowstorm that just is enough weight to bring one of these trees that has seen better days. So talk about storm removal, Carlos, Greater Pitt Tree Service.
Yes, we come out, we look at your property, and we kind of look at the neighboring properties and see what trees have been coming down in the past storms that we've been having, and see what we could do to kind of keep your tree as safe as possible. It could be as involved as maybe reducing the canopy, doing a crown reduction, so now maybe the wind can pass over, because a lot of times it's the height of the tree that catches those high winds, and that's the deciding factor of why that tree ends up on the ground. There's other things we can do. We could kind of thin out the center mass a little bit, so now we allow the wind to pass through the tree. We've reduced it. Now the wind can pass over the tree. And, you know, that violent storm we had at the beginning of the spring, I'm not sure there was anything we could have done prior to that to not have that tree end up on the ground if you had a large tree come down in that storm. It was just Mother Nature flexing her muscles, and that was probably the most powerful storm that I've seen, other than Hurricane Sandy. We packed up and took the crew and the gear out to New Jersey and worked that storm, and that was just I mean, the scope of that devastation was very impressive. But the storms we have here, too, are these microbursts we have, and that storm we had in the spring, that storm was called a straight line storm, and it covered just a massive area. Kind of came across all of Allegheny County. So, you know, we could have did our best with everything through our plant health care and our tree trimming and pruning crews to kind of alleviate that tree coming down. But in a storm like that, that wind's going to win the battle. So there are a lot of things that, you know, that was an anomaly. I don't know when we'll get a large storm like that again. The average storms, yeah, we could come out and keep the tree thinned out. You know, you want to be able to see some daylight through that middle and upper canopy because now the sunlight can pass through. It's beneficial to your yard. The wind can pass through. So we come out there, again, case by case. We're like detectives. We come out there and we're looking at everything on your property. We're like Terminator when he scans the area and everything pops up. And that's what Troy does and the other salesman and myself do when we come out to your property, and we're trying to, you know, steer you in the right direction, see what fits your budget, and make sure that we could keep everything on your property there and keep it healthy.
Well, when people ask me, what's Carlos like from Greater Pitt Tree Service, I think he just showed you. They're intense. They get it done. 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. One more segment. If you want to call, now's the chance. 866-391-1020, 866-391-1020. And when he returns in a couple of weeks in the month of December, we'll start giving you some tips and tricks when it comes to picking out the right Christmas tree, something else he used to do back in the day. So we've got you covered. Your Pratt Pack. Don't forget today, Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. What a show we have in store. Mr. Gino DeMarco, his team lost their bowl game Saturday at Geneva. It was his final game as head coach after 33 years. Lifelong friend. Used to do his television show for years, but I've been helping him with social media over the last 10 years or so, and he is a finished product now, and what a career it's been. But he also was recently named the President Athletic Conference Coach of the Year. They had an incredible season, so we'll talk to him. But he's also going to be here to talk about the college football playoff. And yesterday, the Pitt Panthers got a massive win against Georgia Tech, and now they take on Miami. And if, well, SMU loses and they beat Miami, who knows? There could be life after the regular season for Coach Narduzzi. How about Terry Smith, our buddy, the former Gateway High School football coach? Got a win against Nebraska yesterday. We're going to talk about that. Ohio State a big winner, Notre Dame a big winner, college football preview and more as far as the playoffs, which start in a couple of weeks. Gino will be here. And the Duquesne Dukes finished off the season with a big one against Robert Morris. They finished at 6-5, but Central Connecticut State did not lose to Mercyhurst, so they will not live to play another day. But we'll wrap up our season today with Jerry Schmidt and also get ready to drill down on the NFL. Will he or won't he? Aaron Rodgers, who was 25-5 in his career against the Chicago Bears, go today because of that wrist injury? Going to be a game-time decision. But again, we'll pick our weekly winners against the spread and also start previewing that triple header on Thanksgiving Day. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show moments away, but right now we're minutes away from getting back to Carlos from Greater Pitt Tree Service.
When you need to know, depend on the news leader. At home, in your car, or at work. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM, AM 1020, and KDKA-radio.com.
Gobble, gobble, up some great savings at Coons Market for Turkey Day 2025. Isn't that right, Frank Dentisi?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. USDA Grade A frozen honeysuckle white young turkeys, 98 cents a pound. Fresh southern yams, 47 cents a pound. And selected varieties of Marie Callender pies, 24.5 to 42-ounce boxes, 2 for $10. Additional savings in our meat department. USDA Grade A frozen honeysuckle white young turkey breast, $1.39 a pound. And wild-caught fresh Alaskan cod fillets are $10.99 a pound. In the produce department, all-purpose Idaho potatoes, 8-pound bag, $2.88 each. And Little Leaf Farms leaf lettuce, 4-ounce packages, 2 for $6. In the deli department, pumpkin mousse is $5.99 a pound. And this week, selected varieties of Heinz Homestyle gravy, 12-ounce jars, $1.69 each.
How do you find the Coons Market nearest you? Click on CoonsMarket.com. Happy Thanksgiving from Coons Market, a Pittsburgh and holiday tradition.
Hi, Hi, this is Les Botkin of Botkin Family Wealth Management. Every week I change the message on our building sign, and one of my favorites is you're never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream. It's so true. I was 63 on the day my daughter Sarah, son Lester, and I realized a big new dream. We opened the doors to our family-owned investment firm. I'd grown increasingly dissatisfied at our Wall Street brokerage, pressured by the priorities of a big firm. We craved a more intimate environment where we could focus on what matters most, relationships with our clients. Sarah and I are certified financial planners, and Lester is a chartered financial analyst. We deliver big resources in a personalized environment where you're important to all of us. Firms turn over all the time. Advisors turn over. We don't. We're headquartered in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. We live here and we work here in the building that we bought together. It's our family helping your family. Find out more at botkinfamilywealth.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, we're back. One more segment with Carlos from Greater Pitt Tree Service. Carlos, before I finish it up here, I just want you to talk about your company and why this is so important to you and your love of what you do and having great employees. And we talk a lot about Troy, but there's much more. Stephanie, there's much more. Those crews are out there literally throughout the week, months, and year just doing what they do no matter what the elements are. So talk a little bit about the great staff and the crew that you have at Greater Pitt Tree Service. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm so lucky. I have a great team from start to finish, from the time you call and you get on the phone with Stephanie, and it's not a rush phone call, and it's not a AI robot, and we don't, outsource it to a call center. Like, everything we do it has that, that extra feel to it that people really respond to, and people say, wow, I'm talking to a person. And so it starts with that, and then our salesmen get out there, or Troy, our ISA certified arborist, or myself get out there to your property. We're out there to learn about what's going on in your property. A lot of times by the end of it, we know your kid's name, your dog's name. We bring dog treats out there for your pets. We're just so ingrained in the process, and I'm all about the relationship, and that's how I built this business. And a lot of companies kind of go out for a money grab and get consumed with the financial part of their business. And I've been just the opposite. I have a beautiful family. When I go home at the end of the day, that's my reward. So out there, I want to meet people and get that relationship going. We did a job the other day out in McKnight, and she was a KDK listener, older lady, been in the house a long time, and had a threatening tree in the backyard. Well, I guess she was legally blind. She had the black glasses on, and we had to kind of help her along, but her daughter had walked her through what was going on the property, and myself and Jimmy, our other salesman, Jimmy Rafferty, were out there for, I don't know, probably at least an hour. We actually had to sign her check because she couldn't write. She couldn't see to write. So she trusted us enough to actually write out her check for her for the deposit, because we take a 20% deposit after you agree to the work we're going to do. But that buys you a date on our calendar. We're coming. Unless the roads are icy, my crew's going to be there. And that's what your 20% does. It buys you a day on our calendar. We're not the contractor where you say, hey, it's January, hey, it's February, remember me. So we take that deposit, and it guarantees you a spot on our schedule. So again, from the beginning of when you make that phone call, till Stephanie getting you in our system, sending you our insurance, proof of workers' comp, proof of liability insurance. We send you a link to our Better Business and Google reviews because we're very proud of those. That gives the whole snapshot of our company and what people write on there and touch on. It's just everything that we want to kind of succeed in doing on your property. And people say, you know, how great it was from start to finish, how great the crew was. It looked like they were never here. It looks better now than it did before they were here. So it's just everything from start to finish that we take so much pride in. Our team is great. They go out there. They're soldiers, man. We're warriors out there. And it's an occupation where you're one cut away from getting a serious injury or possibly killed. So our guys go out there and risk their lives for the company, and they all have families. You know, I pay them as much as I can. I like to overpay my workers, overpay and underwork. That's how you keep happy workers. And I've invested in all the equipment that we need out there in the field to be safe. And, you know, when you call, you're really going to understand what I'm talking about once we get out there.
Let me ask you one more question. We're down to a final minute. A couple of people, we cannot get to you. We don't have enough time. I'm just going to tell you to right now hang up and call 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. Got a little text message. Do you guys do 24-hour emergency service? We'll end on that note.
Yes. If my phone... the calls go to the office during business hours, and then they get forwarded to my personal cell phone after that. So obviously I know when there's a storm because I'm laying awake staring at the ceiling waiting for the phone to ring. So if I get a call at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, my boots are going on, and I'm coming out there, and we're going to mobilize the crew and equipment and get that tree off your house, or maybe it's blocking your driveway. And we take a lot of pride in that, you know, getting out there when you call us. We advertise it. We advertise 24/7 emergency storm work. It's on my pickup truck that I drive every day. So you better believe if you call, we're answering and we're getting out there for you.
All right, listen, great show. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. You worked hard, your crew, everyone. You deserve a little downtime, and we'll do it again real soon, okay?
Thanks, Rob. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, there he goes, my buddy Carlos from Greater Pitt Tree Service. Love what they do, and if you need somebody to show up on time, get the job done right the first time, you need to give Carlos and Greater Pitt Tree Service a phone call. You can do it right now, 412-884-TREE, 412-884-8733. All right, Accurate Solutions after the news at 10. Then we've got a jam-packed 2 hours of that Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show on KDKA.
The proceeding was paid for by Greater Pitt Tree Service. Information on the program was intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard in the preceding program.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
It's a time of year where healthcare choices are made by many. What happens next? Lead physician Dr. Natalie Gentili.
And there's big question marks. The big one being, how are they going to afford health insurance coverage in 2026? In the end, paying cash or self-paying for a lot of their health care is far more affordable.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
At PJ Fitzpatrick, you don't have to pick between affordability and quality. You can get American-made windows that are beautiful, affordable, and energy efficient. PJ Fitzpatrick has a variety of financing packages that work with any budget. Plus, they provide peace of mind with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor for your new windows. You can have it all. Visit TrustPJ.com for a free design consultation. That's TrustPJ.com.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Guy Reschenthaler is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, increasing the standard deduction for hard-working Americans, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Guy Reschenthaler at 202-225-2065 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 43 degrees, Pittsburgh International at 10 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Well, a fire broke out at a business this morning in Turtle Creek around 4:30. It prompted a large emergency response. A fire occurred on Braddock Avenue at a building that houses EOS Energy Enterprises. Company says no employees were injured. Right now, the exact cause of the fire is under investigation. 2 people are in custody. Another person still on the run. This following a report of shots fired and then a vehicle that crashed into a home. This happened on Pittsburgh's north side Saturday night around 8:30. Police were called to the 400 block of Chester Avenue for a report of those shots fired, up to 15. The vehicle that police tried to pull over nearby did not stop, according to police, and instead the vehicle struck a home in the 1900 block of North Charles Street a few blocks over. 3 people were inside the vehicle. They tried to flee. 2 of them were caught by police. The 3rd person still at large. Well, 9 people were shot, 1 14-year-old killed following holiday festivities in Chicago on Friday night. Here's CBS reporter Azal Rezai.
7 people were shot here near the Chicago Theater. A separate scene had 2 other people that were shot. The person at that scene, we learned, has died. Witnesses tell us the victims seemed all to be very young, in their teenage years.
Shootings followed the annual Christmas tree lighting in Millennium Park. Quick action by a police officer saved a choking baby. Here's CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz.
It happened this month at the Walmart in Sterling Heights, Michigan, near Detroit.
I rushed in there. I mean, the doors could not open, fast enough.
Officer Edward Talia got a call about a 5-month-old baby not breathing. The child's mother, Bailey Simon, was nursing Jameson when she realized he had choked.
I noticed he went completely limp.
Officer Talia, who had been recertified in CPR just a week earlier, stepped in.
I kneeled down. I started, just a few back blows while I'm still, while I'm talking.